character sheet. When we leveled me up, I had typed in, fill this in when you rest. So I knew how many spell slots I had, and that was me editing it.
All
I
right.
didn't realize that went in there.
Because I wasn't thinking straight, that is now the first thing that begins our current stream for today. So hello, everyone, and welcome to Curse of Strahd. Today we're going to play some more Dungeons and Dragons. We are continuing our playthrough of the Curse of Strahd module. We are playing on Roll20. We are using tabletop audio, which, as I think about it, let's go ahead and put on some ambiance here. All right. So, suddenly my notes are not right in front of me. So let's talk about our players. So I'll introduce each of you briefly and give, please introduce who you are, what your character does, and your favorite thing that happened the last session. So, Lee.
I play Honor, who is a Tiefling Ranger, Beast Clan, and her faithful wolf companion Anubis. And I think my favorite thing that happened last time was knocking a guy down and holding a dagger to his throat.
Mark Kilfoyle.
Oh no. Right, I'm reviewing my notes as I speak here. I am presenting to you one Periwinkle Pear-Tree, otherwise known as Perry, which is fine by me. Servant of the light of the thunder and bringer of good food and good drink and merry times and a little bit of light in the darkness. Ooh, that rain stopped quickly.
Yeah, I meant to turn it down a little bit and not all the way.
See, that's what Lathander will do. It'll make a sunny day out of a rainstorm. Session. I had a somewhat saddening chat with the priest of the church who complained to me about some missing bones, which eventually I hope to help him find.
All right. Nukchas.
I am playing Shadow, who is a wood elf and druid. And she went off on her own to investigate a story of some elves living just outside of town, because apparently all of the women and children had been killed or gone or whatever. And so she went out there and she found a long lost member of her group that she grew up with. And the out of character information or that the others don't know is she grew up in a kind of a very strict religion type deal. Some might call it a cult. They don't call it a cult, but there was a pretty big schism between the two, and the long lost member of her group, which is actually a direct relative of hers, left the group because they felt that they were getting too much into the worship and kind of left. And she learned a little bit more about her father and her past, but also that she feels that she is here because she's supposed to be, because her people are in need, and that she's not just trapped here and it's not an unfortunate thing. She is guided here by their lord.
All right. How about you, Nobilis?
I am playing Jazzrick.
Oh no! We just fixed your audio and now it's back the other way again. So something happened?
No.
Oh.
I don't know. You know what? Vamp and I will.
Okay. Well, I've got notes about everything that led up to this, and hopefully we will be able to resolve technical difficulties here. But a number of things happened in the last session and a half. We had a lot of exploration of the various troubles befalling the citizens of Vallaki, including a discovery that Lucian, the young boy you rescued from witches, was delivered to his aunt, but her son has been taken prisoner, she knows not where, by the Burgomaster for the crime of speaking out against the festivals he puts on. You've also discovered that the sacred bones which sanctify the church of Vallaki, St. Andrew's Church, have been stolen, potentially rendering that church no longer protected from evil. You also stayed the night at the Blue Water Inn, and it was uneventful for everyone except for Jazric, who has discovered that these witches are perhaps not done with him after all.
You might say the witches are trolling him.
Yeah. And then last but not least, you met the Burgomaster of this town, who, despite being a tyrant as told by others, seemed friendly enough when you talked to him. But he also had a Creepmaster Supreme henchman named Ezek, who was obsessed with Irina, the young woman that you are hoping to try to escort somewhere safe in order to protect her from Strahd. You were on your way, leaving the town of Vallaki to escort her to Kresk, where you hope to deliver her to the Abbey of St. Markovia. And that is when Ezek attempted to have you arrested and take Irina prisoner. Combat broke out. You guys tried to escape and then successfully did, leaving the guards and Ezek behind at the Vallaki city gates as you fled down the old Zvalach road. Meanwhile, Shadow, who had heard about this encampment of elves, went and found out some of the things that Nutty was just sharing with us. And, of course, met Casimir, who offered her a very valuable treasure in exchange for a promise that the party would help him with a quest of his own. And she was on her way back to Vallaki the next morning, just in time to discover the rest of her party fleeing down the road.
We should probably mention, too, there's one person missing.
Yes. Tim Dodge, who plays Julius, the paladin, is not with us today. He will be played by me for the duration of today's episode.
I have one question, because I forgot. Did I leave the tome with Casimir,
yes.
Instead I'm coming back? That's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah. Because, he wanted to hold on to it. It's very valuable. He wants to make sure it would not get, taken by anyone who might want to steal it. So he still has it. We don't hear anything right now, Nabilis. I see you waving. So, no, nothing now. Oh no. It seemed like it was working a second ago. Technical difficulties are the worst. All right. So, while we catch up to everybody, the rest of you had run perhaps half mile, a little more, down the road, trying to put the gates of Vallaki behind you, only to have Shadow hurry up behind you, attempting to catch up. There you are, and
okay.
Yay! And it sounds better now.
Excellent.
Of course, it sounded better for a little bit earlier too, so we'll see.
Well, well, we'll see what happens.
Fingers crossed. Okay, so the party, along with Ismark and Irina, the young brother and sister, although I'm just, it's not pertinent. They're adopted brother and sister.
Oh, okay.
Irina was adopted, and that came up. It's just it's not germane. I'm not mentioning it now because it's relevant or important right now. I'm just saying I want to be correct and accurate with information that you had. So they are with you. You have gone about a half mile from the city of Vallaki. So this little icon right here is representing the party. So you guys are approaching this a stone bridge that goes over a river when Shadow hurries up behind you to catch up. And in the meantime, some ominous thunderhead clouds. I mean, it's always overcast here, but some really stormy looking clouds have begun to blow in and started to rain a little bit, and you suspect that there's perhaps a worse storm on its way. And in fact, in just a little bit of a flash of lightning in the distance, you see the silhouette of a castle on the eastern horizon, just briefly lit up by this flash of lightning as this storm is moving towards you. However, it is still only about 10 a.m.
Oh, wait! Running to get there. Oh, goodness, I found you all. I was just coming to get word to you. Obviously, you're fleeing something, so quick, this way. She leads them towards the encampment.
Okay, so they are, to clarify, so there are a couple of paths that led from the encampment, which is to the southwest of the town proper. Mm-hmm. However, you, in trying to catch up with them, have led them past where those paths are. So you would have to backtrack along this same road in order to go to those paths.
So,
Why? Why is it important that we do this now?
Because one of the pieces that we need for this to handle Strahd is back that way.
Okay, but we're trying to get Arena to safety. Does it have to happen right now?
Fine, whatever. But we have to get back there today.
Okay, this time. We'll go because we're not going back to Vallaki today.
Oh no, we're not.
Well, so while you guys are actually having this conversation, I'd like everyone to make a perception check.
Of course you would.
Ooh, Jazric with a nice natural 20 on that perception check is the first to hear pounding hooves coming from the direction of the town of Vallaki. And as you turn to look in the distance, coming up the road fast, you see a single figure on a big horse.
Has he got one arm bigger than the other?
As he is getting closer and closer, turns out yes.
Okay, well, my hunter's mark should still be in operation.
Yeah, I'll say that. Yeah, sure. What's the range though? Like, how far away can they get?
It doesn't seem to matter.
That seems implausible. Is it? Entered. So let's see. It's 90 feet to cast it, and then
lasts up to an hour.
Mystically mark it as your quarry. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'll say you definitely know it is Ezek. Coming up fast on a monster of a horse. And when I say monster, I don't mean literally like supernatural in this case, just that it's big and it's got, like horse armor.
Okay.
We might want to get off the road.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so where you guys are now, first of all, you're close enough to see him. He's close enough to see you. So there's not any hiding in a way that he won't see you. But where you are right now, in fact, let me go ahead and move you to a little map that I made. Oops. You guys have just reached this bridge that, as I mentioned. So the water of this river looks clear, but it's pretty fast moving and deeper than you guys are tall, at least in the center. And the bridge is a sturdy stone construction that kind of arches in the middle over the river, and that's where you guys are now. Now, you guys make sure, especially... Oh, you know what, Julius? I don't think took any damage, and I have him left over with damage from another thing. So let me just pop him back up.
Well, that was ages ago. It was a great story, but it was not relevant at the moment. Julius, stop thinking about it so hard.
Yeah. I was forgetting that I have to do him. So what I'll say is, you guys think that you have like, he is about 20 feet away and moving fast enough. You think he'll reach you within 2 rounds. So I'll let you. You have about 10 seconds that you can try to get into whatever position or do whatever else you want to do right now.
So
Okay, well-
can we cast spells?
If you're going to cast a spell, then we'll go ahead and roll initiative for it.
Okay.
Okay.
Is he alone?
He is alone, other than riding on this big horse.
Okay,
Oh,
good.
well.
Is he coming from the left or the right?
From the right, as we look at this map, north is up, and he is coming from the east, which is to the right. So I kind of put you on the bridge. You don't have to be on the bridge. That's just where I put your icons to set it up.
I think the bridge is actually a good place.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can funnel him.
Yeah.
All right. So
We'll put our fighters up front.
Arena, get behind.
Yeah.
all right. Ismark is willing to be up front with you, Jazric.
I'm going to set my spear against the stones of the bridge to ready for a charge.
I think Julius is also up there too. Okay, so let's go ahead and roll initiative then. I'm going to reveal the tokens for Ismark on the map, but he is still 120 feet away as we start.
That's honor. And Anubis, honor got a 12, Anubis got a 7.
Okay. Turn. Okay. Honor 12. Anubis 7. Okay. I think I have doubled up a couple of people. Okay. Yeah, I have some duplicates here. This is going to take a second. Let's see. That is Julie. Well, Julius rolls a 2. Okay. Perry with a 14. Sometimes these seem to happen automatically, but all right. I thought I had all of this set up, and then there's always something that I haven't thought of yet. Okay, and then Irina. Okay, Irina gets a natural 20 for her dexterity.
She's got a bit more invested than the rest of us.
Ismark gets 11. Okay, and the rain is starting to fall proper now, so you guys definitely have storm coming here. Let's see. Okay, so I have Irina first, and then Shadow, then Perry, Honor. Wow, there's just a lot of people. Jazric is even with Honor, then Ismark, Anubis, and the duplicate Arena that I'm deleting. The guards are not there. And is that a dog barking?
No, that's my kid laughing.
Okay. It's muffled, so it's hard to hear. Okay.
I closed the door.
No problem. Okay, and we're using the Warhorse's initiative because Ezek is writing it. So that. Okay, almost there. Almost there. And then. So right now, Ezek is acting on the Warhorse's turn, but if if they were to get separated, then we'll give them separate actions. All right. So Irina is first, but she is basically just holding her action for now. She's got her rapier out. And she's waiting for there to be something she can stab with it, because that's basically all that she's got. As the rest of you are getting ready, Nutty, what are you doing?
Yeah, so I want to cast Barkskin on myself.
Okay.
Boink. And so what that's going to do is that when I turn into a creature, my AC is can't be less than 16. So that's going to help me.
Okay.
And that's an action. I can turn into my creature now, or I can wait, right?
Yeah. You can. I mean, it's a bonus action. What you don't have to do it now, but what would you be? Are you wanting to hold the action? Is that the idea?
I'm trying to decide actually. I think I'm just going to turn into a bear now.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I am going to give you a little symbol indicator, because I still haven't quite figured out a good way to switch out your token. There's none of these that seem like they're great for that, but what I'm going to use is just this little red circle around your icon to indicate that you're a bear, and you can keep track of your bear hit points there. And I'm going to fiddle with this map just a little bit so that I can have more of my sheets open without it blocking half the map on the screen, if that is going to take just a little bit. But okay, Perry, what are you doing?
All right. How far away from me is he?
120 feet.
Yeah, he's still 120 feet until it's his turn.
All right then. Let's see. His. Oh well. I'm trying to remember if he went after any one of us in particular besides Irina, but I think it was her. Was his intentions?
I think Honor and Anubis were probably the ones he was most mad at, just from
knocking him down and kicking his ass.
Yeah.
Well then, I've only and I hope I've gotten it right, because I also realized I had different spells that day, but I think I remember most of them. Well, let's see then. You know what? I think I'm going to. Can't do that yet either. All right, I'm going to go full defensive for this round, and stride up towards the front. So I'll move just a little bit. I can grab a hold of myself here. Oh, come on, you silly, slow, world-browsing thing. There, I'm jumping. Oh, there I go. All right, excuse me, coming through. Sorry. All right, that's where I'm at.
Okay. So, let's see. Moving the map around. All right. So, that is your turn. Honor? I mean,
I'd
you
like
guys.
to try.
Oh, sorry.
I'd like to try animal handling on the warhorse to either slow it down or make him buck it off.
It's too far away for that.
Okay.
You might try that again when it
he's
gets closer. But I would say you're going to need to be within 10 feet to have any sort of a meaningful interaction with the horse.
Okay.
At least in terms of just animal handling, as opposed to, just like some sort of an attack or something.
Okay.
So anything else? You can just kind of hold an action, or
I'm gonna hold my action.
okay. Jazric, you sounded like you were holding your spear too.
I am setting my spear against the charge. I don't know. I checked through. There's really no rules on that. But one thing you could do is give the horse's strength bonus to attacks against things that are charging in. So.
Wait, say that again.
He's setting his spear. He's putting the butt of the spear against the bridge.
Sure.
So that anybody who charges him will come down on the end of it, the point of his spear.
Right.
So, and the way that mechanically, what I was suggesting was that the strength bonus for that attack be the horse's strength bonus instead of Jazric's.
I could
mechanically. If
right.
not, then there's no point, and I'll just attack hold my action and attack when the time comes.
Well, I think what I would do is still try to make you make a roll to see if you are successfully getting your.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely is a 2-hit roll, but it's the strength bonus of the damage would be based on the horse rather than on me.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. Yeah, I can see that. Well, and I'll take that into account if you hit you with your attack.
Okay.
Okay, so Ismark is also just readying his action. Anubis, I suppose, is just ready. Not everyone really has a. I just realized the warhorse. Oh yeah, I should have still been a 4. So everyone except no one really has much of a 120-foot ranged thing. Not a lot of people do. Okay, so once it is the warhorse's and Ezek's turn, he is racing towards you guys, and he closes half the distance in one round.
Okay.
And you see flame flickering around his hand as he does, and as soon as he's within 60 feet, he hurls a fireball at you, Jazric.
Okay.
And he gets a 9, so he misses.
Okay.
But you see, alarmingly near you. It's a near enough miss, given that he threw it from 60 feet away, that you see that it would not have been fun to have that burst, little ball of fire hit you.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so he is now 60 feet and closing fast. Julius, what can Julius do? I ought to have one of you run Julius, but I don't know how to manage that right now. What are his spells?
Spells? He might also have a missile weapon.
He doesn't, or at least he doesn't have it active right now. He's going to bless 3 of you.
Okay.
He is going to bless Ismark and Perry and Jazric.
Okay.
And so you are currently...
But I didn't even sneeze.
Yeah, you are blessed, which means that when you make an attack roll or a saving throw, you can add a d4 to it. All right. Okay. So it is Irina's go again, but she is also just waiting for someone to be within range. She just has a parry after all, or a rapier after all. Nutty, you're up. You are a bear.
I'm a bear. And he's still far away?
Yeah, he's
He's
60
60 feet away.
So I'm just growling.
All right.
I've got nothing left to do. I can't do anything but fight while I'm a bear.
All right. Okay.
Grr.
So, Perry, he's 60 feet away now.
60 feet away and clearly meaning some menace to us.
Well, he just threw fire at us. I think that counts.
Well, no, we've had warmer receptions. I think it's time for us to calm things down a little bit, and I step forward a little bit and say, "Halt and cease and stop with your." Pardon me, traffic.
We can still hear you.
Yeah, yeah.
I couldn't hear myself. Stop and halt and cease, and in the light of Lathander, please stop moving. And I cast Hold Person.
Oh, okay, there you go. You're casting it on him?
On him.
On Ezek, right?
Well,
I guess
still
Hold Person
move.
wouldn't work on the animal anyway.
It wouldn't work on him anyway, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, the
so
whole
he's
monster
going to make
beast,
a
I think.
Wisdom saving throw.
He's going to attempt. I'm hoping he's not.
He gets a 6. Okay, so what that means is that he is paralyzed, but he is still on the back of this horse.
Right, it seemed to me that other people were going to talk to the horse.
All right, yeah, so you see as he is approaching, he is, looks like he's ready to throw another fireball, but then he kind of goes rigid. All right, and now Honor, your turn.
Okay, so he's 60 feet away.
Mm-hmm.
I can't get close enough to the horse at this point.
I mean, not unless you're running out past everyone else.
Yeah.
I have a suggestion.
Sure.
A horse generally needs to be commanded in order to run itself onto a pike. If you hold your action until the horse gets just near enough, and we may be able to force it to stop its charge just by having, a wall of pointy things pointed at it. And without the rider giving it commands to continue, it might shy off from its charge.
Okay. I only have a heavy crossbow and a sword, so I don't know if I can assist with the wall of pointy things.
All right. I mean, you could. What's your crossbow range? Is it 30 feet?
I will point out that swords are pointy.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll come up behind Barry and pull out my sword and.
All right.
At least try to look menacing towards the horse.
Sure. Okay.
until he gets close enough that I might be able to try animal handling on him.
Right. All right. So, Jazrick.
Holding my action, but I'm not going to. I'm not threatening the horse. I'm actually going to attack it if it gets in range.
Right. Okay. So next is Ismark, who is also, he is on board with this wall of pointy things plan. Is Anubis doing anything, Honor, or is he kind of just?
He's gonna try and sneak around so that if it gets close enough, he can kind of bite at the horse's hocks and distract it.
All right. So now it is the horse and Ezek's turn, and as Nobilis suggested, with Ezek no longer urging it forward in its charge, it does shy away from all of you blocking the bridge, and it kind of pulls slows to a stop about 20 feet away from the end of the bridge and stops. And now he has got a like a combat saddle on, so he doesn't fall off, but you can see that he is still paralyzed, at least until he makes another wisdom saving throw. 11. What's your DC?
13.
Ah, nope. So he is still paralyzed, sitting on the horse, and you can see that the horse is kind of
He's actually paralyzed.
paralyzed. Ba-dum-bum. So yes. So you guys see that this horse stops its charge and kind of turns to the side. So it's got its side to you now, and you can see that that Isaac is not even able to turn his head to look at you, but he's close enough now. You can hear just sort of a sound of a muffled scream of rage.
Wow.
All right,
Let's pull him down.
yeah, it's Julius's turn, where he has he does not have a ranged weapon, so, and he can't get there without so he's gonna just basically run up to try to grab the horse's reins. And so I'll say he can grab them, but that's all that has happened so far because he had to dash. So he got his hands on them, but hasn't actually managed to try to do anything yet. All right, Irina, it's her turn, and she is keeping her distance still from him. Shadow, what are you doing?
I'm going to approach cautiously. If I sense that, or if I feel that the horse is getting spooked by me, I'll stop.
Okay. So what's your bear movement speed? I want to say is 40.
Something like that. I'd have to look it up. Hang on.
All right. From where each square on this map is still 5 feet. So you can basically, with a normal movement, you can get almost to him.
Okay. Does the horse have any issues?
It looks nervous, but it's not its turn yet. Are you trying to look scary?
No, I'm not trying to be scary. I just if the horse seems scared, I want to stop as soon as I
okay.
notice
As you get close, it does not look like it likes you at all.
Okay,
now that said, it also looks like a war horse, so it might not be as scared as a normal horse would be.
Then I'm going to.
That doesn't mean it wants
to make it harder on anyone else.
Yeah, it doesn't mean it would just let a bear just walk right up to it.
Yeah.
All right, Perry. You are.
Somebody get some rope.
You are maintaining concentration, I assume, on your spell?
Oh, yes. I'm going to keep it as long as I can. I can't do this forever, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But somebody get some rope. I'm going to move a bit closer. Maybe we can find out why this person is so crazed. I mean, love makes
I don't have opposable thumbs.
Roar, roar, roar to you too.
Exactly.
The storm is moving in, by the way. It's getting worse.
Oh, by the way, Paulette has been watching us, and at that paralyzed joke, there was a definite groan.
I thought that was pretty good. I'm on board with that one.
I'll give it a 6 on skill foil scale.
This was not how I foresaw this going, by the way.
That is my existence in life. Mm-hmm. So the whole person doesn't require my action to do that. So I am going to move, and I'm going to move closer. Mm-hmm. We'll see.
You'd have to use dash to get all the way to him.
That's what I was wondering, because I've already moved my space up.
Yeah. Yeah, the squares are 5 feet.
Does the horse seem skittish or afraid, or just calm, normal, everything is normal, all fine here, boring conversation anyway?
It looks like it is still kind of keyed up, but he's paralyzed and not giving it any commands, so it looks like it's kind of waiting.
Okay, I'm not going to pay attention to that thing then. I'm going to turn my chin up towards the towel fellow on the large horse and call out with the best of my voice, and actually I can use thaumaturgy to make it 3 times louder than normal. Sir, we do not wish to fight you. Your troubles are your own. Please do not harry us on the work that we have to do. That's about all I've got, besides the call for a rope.
All right. Honor.
Okay. I'm going to try and get closer. And I'll hand Perry the rope from my pack. And I'm 15 feet away from the horse, so I can't use animal handling on it yet.
I'll let you make a check as you approach, but tell me what it is. What are you, like, if you could put into words what you're trying to communicate to the horse with this check, tell me what that would be.
I'd like him to buck the guy off the back.
Well, now that Julius has his reins.
And he also looks a little bit nervous by a bear that's not too far.
Yeah. What I want to communicate is that we aren't going to hurt the horse. He can just calm down and be peaceful. This isn't going to be a battle situation anymore.
Okay. Go ahead and make a roll.
24.
Ooh,
Nice. Critical.
Nice. So one thing that I mentioned last session, and I'll just remind everybody here, is that because some people will listen to this in audio, do your best to try to remember to announce the number result, even if we can all see it in chat. So Lee just did that very well, so thank you. You see, Honor, that like it's keyed up, and you don't know that it would listen to you over its rider. Mm-hmm. But it does seem to be relaxing somewhat.
Okay.
So Paulette says, Christiana says, this isn't going the way I planned an awful lot in these D&D sessions.
Well, you know, that's how it works, I suppose, right?
That's why you play.
Yeah. Okay, Jazric.
Hey, I'm moving up as well. And I am ready to attack if this guy gets within range.
Okay.
And I've got spear and hand axe out.
All right. Ismark is he is moving up as with you as well to be ready to assist with restraining him if that is the plan. All right. Okay. Anubis, is Anubis doing anything?
Let's see.
He could probably pull him down. He's fast enough.
Well, it would probably not further calm the horse, though.
Yeah, well, what's the main goal here?
Okay, Anubis' speed is 40 feet, so he can actually get to the horse and pull the rider down.
Okay, so he is going to try to grapple Izek off of the horse. Is that the idea?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to... So, because he's paralyzed, he is not himself able to resist, but I'm going to have the horse make a dexterity check.
Okay.
To try to avoid it, because it's going... When it sees the wolf coming up at it, it's not going to like that.
Right.
So, let's have the horse get its roll.
All right, what does Anubis need to roll?
Athletics or strength. Oops. Alright, and the horse is going to make a dexterity check, and it gets a 14. So I would say, with Anubis running up on it, it kind of it shimmies over to the side, pulling against the reins that Julius has, and it's not freaking out, but it is, it does move aside enough that Anubis is not able to get a grip on Ezek's leg. So, it is now the Warhorse and Ezek's turn. The Warhorse looks like it is not taking any action at this time. Ezek is still paralyzed and goes... Because he can't move.
Everybody wants me to speak different languages. Bear, dog, muffled, strange fellow.
Yeah. That was infernal, and it's really, really bad.
What about my mother?
And he makes another wisdom saving throw and is still unable to break out of his paralysis. Paralysis. Okay, yeah. So he's still paralyzed. The horse is not freaked out at this time. So honestly, if your plan is to just pull him down and just tie him up, I'll say that all of you acting together can just do that.
Good.
Excellent.
Yep.
All right.
And hold the horse off to the side.
Yeah.
Okay.
Julius can take care of that.
Yeah.
All right. So as you guys have tied him up, he is unable to resist while Perry is maintaining the concentration on this hold person spell. And you are able to tie him up without resistance. He is still unable to talk or even turn his head until Perry releases the spell.
I'm going to stand behind him so that if he tries to use his flames to burn through the ropes, I'll see that. I'm not going to let him have any position where he can do something that we can't see. I'm not the one with the interpersonal skills. I'm not going to be questioning him, but I'm going to make sure that he doesn't do anything funny to get free.
I'm assuming that you guys take his battle axe off of him.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. So, is Perry still got him paralyzed?
Well, if you check the ropes, and you check them again, and one more time for safety.
Yeah, I'll say all of
I
you
wouldn't want
acting
any of you-
together. I won't even make a roll. You don't even have to make a roll.
I wouldn't want any of you to come to harm. Especially because I've already run a lot today, and I don't want to run any more.
Yeah. All right. So,
So how we release him then?
okay. And as soon as he can move again, he immediately starts to struggle in his ropes and says, "Let me loose!"
Now you seem like someone who's had a bit of a rough day.
He shoots
So-
just like a murderous glare in your direction.
I dodge it. Now, understanding that you have some sort of problem you're trying to overcome. Not the ropes, I mean, but the call of your own heart. And if there's something I can understand, it's that. But you're going about this all the wrong way. Is he listening at all, or is he
He's
tuning out?
he's listening, but you get the sense that he is sort of multitasking with coming up with a plan of how he's going to get out of this. He is
Now-
listening to your words, though.
I might have been able to help you today with some of your problems, but I didn't know that you had these problems. So I'm a little bit tapped out as far as the lovely light of Lathander can help you. But I want you to tell me, in your own words, slowly and without malice, why you are so obsessed with that young woman over there.
I've been receiving visions of her in my dreams. It's definitely her. I've been dreaming of her for years.
Okay, there's nothing to be embarrassed about. We all have dreams like that from time to time.
No, you don't understand. It's her. It's her, not a woman. I've been dreaming of her.
So tell me, what happens in your dreams? and remember, we're in mixed company.
Don't want to upset Honor's sensibilities here.
At that, he kind of gets a little bit more of a sullen look in his eye and just says, "You'd better set me free, or else there's no way you're stepping into the town of Vallaki ever again."
Well, now that doesn't sound like what was in your dreams. Were you talking with her? Were you courting her, or you just see her face? I mean, I've seen her face. It's a beautiful face. You have a beautiful face there. But
Make
You
an
know.
insight check.
well, not likely, but I'll try.
Can I try?
Yeah, any of you can
I actually
make
got
an
a pretty
insight.
good.
Yeah, okay. All right. Both of you get the sense that the reason he is not saying more about his dreams is it's not so much like he's embarrassed as much as like he is genuinely confused. Like he's not even really sure how to answer.
Now, I'm pretty sure that you've made a couple of mistakes today. For one, acting without your lord's consent. I was confused at first as why the lord, the baron, had no idea why the hell we were there. But when you assaulted us in the hallway, I kind of put 2 and 2 together and came up with an approximation of 4.
You get a sense from your demeanor, from his demeanor here, that like that stings. Like he recognizes that you're right, that he acted without his boss's consent here, and that he doesn't feel good about having done that. He just says, but it's gotta mean something. I've been dreaming of her. We're meant to be together.
I'm gonna mouth over his head towards Perry. Strahd.
Irina has kind of come up and next to Ismark just to watch, by the way, and she's staying a little away from Izek, but she just is like talking to Ismark and just says, I don't know him, but when he says that there's a connection, I feel like it's true, but I don't know how. I don't know how it could be. And Ismark says, I don't know either. Could it be related to Strahd pursuing you? She just says, it doesn't feel the same.
I'd like to make an insight check or something against a suspicion I might have. Is there any resemblance between the two of them at all? Is there any reason they might be related to each other?
Now that you mention it, there is some, like, you wouldn't have thought so necessarily just seeing them walking around, but with him looking a little bit more sullen than rageful, and the idea crossing your mind, it's possible that there's some sort of a family connection there.
I'm gonna motion to Julius to take my place behind him, and I'm gonna go over to Ismark and Irina and quietly say, hopefully without Izek hearing, Irina, I seem to recall mentioning that you were adopted.
And this is a brief metagame note to say that I'm kicking myself for having brought that up earlier because it really wasn't intended, and I'll reiterate that I did not expect you guys to ever have a conversation with this guy. So,
you were supposed to say, and this was all planned all along.
Yeah.
And I conceivably
I guess
that
that's my grudging congratulation that you actually harvested a seed I had not intended to plant. So well done there. But yes, she does say, yes, I don't remember much, but from those days, my father, well, my adopted father, the Burgomaster, Ismark's father, said that he found me in the woods and that I was traumatized and didn't seem to know where I was or where I'd come from. This was when I was about 4.
Okay. I'll motion Perry over and tell him my suspicion. And maybe we can actually get this.
You're joking. I mean, you're joking.
It's possible, and if we can convince him of it, then we've got an ally instead of an enemy.
Well, I was thinking along those lines anyway. This seems to give me more juice, I suppose. Wine, maybe. Possibly spirits.
If we can get him to convince him that is the connection, and that we are trying to protect her from Strahd, then we might be able to straighten things out in town and get her to protection.
Well, it does seem in this desolate, terrible land that allies are somewhat hard to come by, and I wouldn't mind someone of the strong arm as himself on the other side of the battle. With us, I mean.
See what you can do. I'm not so much for persuasion.
Oh, well, all right. I'm sure, stand a little straighter. I'm sure we can see eye to eye, especially because he's tied up and on the ground. So, Isaac, tell me about your childhood.
He kind of narrows his eyes, like he still doesn't like you, Perry. He's
That's
really
impossible.
Unhappy.
I just believe.
For the first, the zone of truth back in town, and now the paralysis that has led to him being in this situation. He is not a Perry fan, but he just says, I was born in Vallaki, and one morning my father and my uncle took me and my sister fishing, and a direwolf attacked, and that's when I lost my arm, and my sister was never found again, and my parents never recovered from losing her, and they just grew weak and just succumbed to grief or stillness, I don't know.
Oh, that's very sad to hear. I'll pat him on the shoulder, congenially.
But then the Baron took me in, raised me. He knew that I was strong.
He means a lot to you, doesn't he, the Baron?
He saved me, gave me purpose.
I think there may be a connection that most of us never realized. And I also think that deep down inside, behind that gruff exterior and that gigantic arm, there beats a heart of goodness, beaten down over the years by dangerous things like the wolves that run around in these woods and the overall clamor of that damn storm which never seems to let up.
Incidentally, as you're starting to talk about this, like, heart of goodness or whatever, he rolls his eyes and he's suddenly looking very bored with this topical conversation.
I have a question.
All right, forget this guy. He's making.
Could since I am in bear form, is it possible, like, I could smell the two of them and see if there's a connection?
You know what? I will allow you to make a survival check for that.
Okay.
While she's doing that, I'm going to kind of stand behind Perry and is like, all right, look. Perry is using 150 words when 15 would work. The reason that you keep seeing her is because this is your sister, and we're trying to protect her from Strahd.
So how'd that work?
You can't be sure, but it seems more likely than not based on the smell. It seems they do. There is some they're not obviously different, so
Right.
It's possible.
So I go over to Irina and kind of like snuffle into her hand and bring her over as a way of trying to say, yeah, I sniffed.
She's kind of pulling back, like she is not wanting to be pulled closer to him.
Okay,
she just kind of whispers to Ismark and just says, I don't care if he is my brother. He's awful.
This is true.
And she tells Ismark, you're my real brother. You're the one that I remember.
Yeah,
So,
this is
but-
true.
So, back me up here, Perry. By that I mean help me so I can get a better roll.
As soon as let's say you can make a persuasion roll with advantage. How about that?
Okay.
Can I paw into the ground like a check mark to like let them know I agree with them?
Yep.
Okay.
So
a
this
check mark
giant
in front
brown
of them.
bear in your midst
Yeah.
uses claws to make a check mark in the dirt.
Yeah, I mean, even
Quickly.
the bear thinks this is correct. Oh!
So even with advantage,
I
that's
got a 10.
a 10. He just kind of says, maybe she is my sister. Family. I just know there's a connection. And that we're meant to be together.
Then come with us.
And you are... No, you need to let me take her back to Vallaki.
No, she's not safe there.
Vallaki is unfortunately not quite safe enough at the moment. I'd like
You
to
want to
take care
take
of
her
that.
into the wilderness? How is that better?
Oh, no, I think Kresk is a very nice place from what I've heard.
All right, you've got two choices here. You can either leave in peace, or we can leave you tied up here. But we're leaving, and you don't have a way to stop us. So what's it going to be?
He kind of growls to himself and sulks about it for a while. But then he just says, where are you taking her?
Kresk.
To safety. Sanctuary.
If you untie me, I'll let you go.
All right.
Does he seem sincere?
Make an insight check. So that's Perry, with your 20, you get the feeling that it's a little bit like when you insight checked Morgantha back in the town. He's telling you the truth in the immediate term, that he is not going to just stand up and attack you. He will let you go, but that he does not consider this business concluded.
She won't be safe for a while yet. There's other people looking for her. One in particular should be more afraid than us. That of one Strahd. You know his name, I'm sure.
The Devil's Strahd.
Right. That's what they usually call him. I thought it was his name for a while. Anyway, if you're truly wanting to keep her safe, then there's only one thing you can truly do. And that is to fight against Strahd's forces. Ultimately,
If you wanted to do that, you would let me take her back to the Baron's mansion. He could protect her. He has guards.
He does, but he's a little too close to the Baron's, to the Strahd's own house, I'm afraid.
The Baron
it
is a
isn't
great
just-
man. He protects Vallaki.
I'm sure he does. And I want to see more of what his protection will bring. But there are other kinds of protection they can offer there that guards alone are not good enough for. If you let us go, I can also help, and these friends as well, to help re-sanctify the church in your town. It's had a bit of a difficulty. If that is done, it will be a safer place for her to come.
The church is no longer
Well, I'm like-
sanctified.
Jasric isn't going to say anything, and he's not going to make it, but, oh, man.
Let's put it this way. You know all of the wolves that fight around your walls constantly. And every once in a while, one of them crashes into the wall and it takes a brick out. And another one crashes in, and another one. And suddenly you've got a hole. Not huge, but bad enough that something could squeeze through. It's more like that.
He is looking confused, like he's not following your metaphor here.
It's a bad metaphor. But I will also, I guess...
Especially since the wall around the Lucky isn't brick, it's wood.
Yep, and also, Barry absolutely believes this is a terrible, terrible problem. So I will roll a deception roll, if you wish. And
Yeah,
it will go
ahead
badly.
and make a deception roll. It goes pretty badly.
5.
That was a 5.
Basically, he just kind of goes,
All right.
Jasper, can you translate? I apparently used too many words.
Here, I don't think we're going to do any better than we've got, Perry. He says he's not going to attack us. He's not going to attack us when we get up. He's going to come back for us again. He's too dedicated to this. But hopefully we can make the whole point moot by the time he's able to do anything.
And if in your heart you truly have the safety of this young woman in your mind, in your heart, and your goals, and your future, then you'll do the right thing. We don't have any harm to come to her. In fact, we're protecting her. Maybe from some over-enthusiastic people, some over-enthusiastic lovers. You know, like Strahd.
go ahead and make another persuasion roll.
Who, me?
Yeah. The one that's doing all the talking? Yeah.
Yeah. You've at least got some charisma behind you.
Can I give myself guidance?
Yes.
I'm probably going to need that. So it will be a
You are
D4
also
added onto
currently
this.
still... Well, no, I was going to say you're still blessed, but that would have worn off by now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the blessing is for attacks and for saving throws, I think.
Yeah.
Guidance is for ability checks.
Yes,
Yeah.
you're right.
So I will roll, and we'll see if if adding a D4 matters.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
I'll add a D4 to that. So it's a 16 to start,
Uh-huh.
and a D4.
And
That's
a
an
4,
additional
so that
4.
makes 20. So as you finish that, as you make this solemn promise that your intention is really to keep her safe and that it's from Strahd that you're doing that, he does actually seem to relax somewhat and just say, "Right then. Get her to
You've got-
safety."
We will?
All right.
You've got good work to do in Vallaki, and we hope to come back and see the work that you've done and help out when we can.
All right. You guys untying him?
Yep. We're on time.
Cautiously.
All right.
I'm staying right in front of Arena.
Actually, I'm going to cast Sanctuary on...
Don't use the spell slot. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see.
It's still early in the day.
Yeah, that's true. All right.
All right. So as you untie him, he doesn't make any sort of an aggressive move, but like he does sort of angrily and aggressively shake the ropes off as soon as he's free. Like he is not patiently waiting for you to. It's like as soon as you've untied him enough that he can get the rest off himself, he pushes you away and does so. And then he stands up and goes back to his horse and is looking very sulky, and he kind of gives a longing stare at Arena for a while. He just says, "We will see each other again." And then to the rest of you, "If you let my sister, I believe she is my sister, if you let her come to harm, you will regret it." And then he mounts his horse and rides away. Rides way back towards Vallaki.
Phew, that's a town
I
we
need
can
a drink.
actually go back in.
I am also going to grant Perry inspiration for using Hold Person and changing that encounter very dramatically.
Yep.
All right. So,
I think we should walk quickly now.
Yeah.
While we are on our way, I'm going to get up next to Arena and say, I know he's terrible. A lot of terrible people can be your ally. And I think once we get you to safety, you should write a letter that we can bring back to him. Think about it.
Absolutely. And Jazwick, don't be so hard on yourself.
She does listen to your words and kind of nod a little bit and just say, "You might be right. But then again, I have already found some allies that have not sent my skin crawling the way that one does. But I'll think about it." All right, so if you guys then are planning to, you're making your way west along this old Zvalich road, just past the bridge where you had this encounter. You make your way across the bridge, and shortly thereafter, and you can see this on the map, the road comes to an X intersection with branches to the northwest, northeast, southwest, and southeast. You have approached it from the northeast branch. The lower half of a snapped wooden signpost thrusts upward at an angle near the eastern elbow of the intersection. The top half of the sign, featuring arms pointing in 4 directions, lies in the weeds nearby.
So somebody didn't like the sign?
Perry, doesn't your thaumaturgy also allow you to mend things?
No, but my mending does.
Let's put the sign back the way it's supposed to be.
Oh, that's all right. How tall is the sign?
It's when it's the 2 pieces of the post are together, it's about 6 feet.
Somebody give me a boost?
But the part that's broken is only about 2 feet off the ground.
Yeah, I'll pick up the post, hold it in place, so he can mend it.
Well, I mean, no, literally, I need a boost. Is the bear still around?
So I go under Perry and kind of.
Oh, you know, I could get used to this. Nice bear, scritch behind the ears. Yes, I use mending to try to put the post back together.
Okay, it's actually relatively easy to figure out how it's supposed to fit. So you are sure that you are now repairing it in the correct orientation.
Also, we also know the direction we came from, so one of the signs should point to Vallaki.
It does, and so basically what I'm saying is you're able to repair the sign in such a way that you are sure it is at least as accurate as it ever was.
Right.
So once you have done it, and it is once again a sturdy post. In fact, it actually the part that you fixed now looks nicer than the rest of the post, which is kind of worn and rotting. But you get the sense that it broke off pretty easy the first time, but now the part that you fixed is the strongest part of the whole thing.
That's how things should work.
So the arms now indicate there is the direction you just came from indicates Vallaki and Ravenloft. The southeast direction says Berez, B-E-R-E-Z. The northwest path, hang on. Yeah, the northwest path says Lake Baratok. And the southwest path says Kresk and Solenka Pass.
Southwest it is.
Well, that seems reasonable.
And Shadow, you recall that Solenka Pass is the direction that Casimir says was the way to go to get to the Amber Temple.
Right. So I kind of don't want to waste my bear form.
Mush!
I draw in the dirt an arrow back to where I wanted to go earlier. Is it working? No.
No.
All right.
arrow
one
point
arrow
southwest?
down. I transformed back into myself, and
A little warning.
before we head on out, there's a camp we need to go to. So Salancha Pass. I'm sorry. What's over at Salancha Pass?
Salinka Pass is the
Salinka
way to
Pass.
go to the temple that Casimir wants to go to.
While I was gone, I got one of the pieces that we need to take down Strahd.
What piece?
The holy symbol? I believe.
No, that's not what you got. You got the Tome of Strahd.
The Tome of Strahd, sorry. My bad.
That's all right.
I got Strahd's tome.
Yes. So, incidentally, the clue that you guys had for this one was the wounded elf.
Yes.
The bigger 6 of coins. Wounded elf has what you seek. He will point to the treasure
Yes.
to see his dark dream realized.
Yes.
The wounded elf is a long lost family member of mine, and he is willing to help us. We need to go back to him. Yes, and we need to go back to him, get the tome, and head in the same direction that we are all going. But we can't leave this piece behind, and we can't leave him behind. I said I would be back.
How far away?
It's not that far. It's just outside Vallaki.
I mean, my short little legs say it might be farther than you think.
You can
He
make
just wants you
it.
to turn for bear
There
again.
might be wine there.
Well, maybe it's worth checking out.
There we go.
All right, let's go. Let's,
So I lead
Okay.
them back towards the camp.
Yeah.
Donnie camp.
All right. So the you make your way back here, and let me briefly show you guys where you're going.
Yeah, I don't want to bring everyone into the camp because I don't want the Vistani to see
Okay.
the entire party. So, if I
Yeah.
can-
Okay, that makes sense. You're basically gonna, as long as they're not leaving you behind,
yeah,
you will go ahead and try to get Casimir and
Yeah.
bring him out.
yeah,
Okay, so I won't move you guys then all to the camp. That seems prudent. So basically, what you guys do is you make your way most of the way back to Vallaki, and you realize that there are some paths leading into the woods on the south side of the road. And Shadow asks you to wait, disappears down one of those paths, and then when she returns, she is accompanied by another elf who is wearing a hood. A hood up, and let's see, do I have an image of him? There is a token for him, but I'm not.
I don't think you had an image last week. So
Yeah, there is let's see. Oh no, there is a handout. Yeah.
Oh,
Let me,
okay.
I'm showing this to everyone. So this is Casimir Velikov.
He's a striking figure, isn't he?
Yeah, and you guys definitely see that there is some resemblance. Her coloring, Shadow's coloring is similar to this guy, and he emerges from the forest with Shadow and sort of takes the rest of you in and gives you sort of a subtle nod.
Hello.
So this is Kashmir. Kashmir. These are my companions.
Casimir.
Sorry, my bad. I wrote it down wrong. It's not the character, it's the player. Casimir, this is Jasric, Perry,
Hello.
Honor and Anubis, and Julius.
And Ismark and Alina.
Yeah.
Oh, Ismark and Arena, and yeah, we don't have the kid anymore.
Yeah.
I believe I gave you a little information about them.
Yes, thank you. And it is good to meet all of you. I have heard good word of you from Shadow. She has promised to me that once you have finished with your immediate errand, you would be willing to help me travel to the Amber Temple. It is where I hope to find magics that can restore my sister to life, but I believe that it will also help you in your attempt to eliminate Strahd.
Restore your sister to life. That's a bit worse than a cold.
Indeed. But the Amber Temple is the birthplace of the magic that gave Strahd his unholy powers. I believe that there I will be able to find the magic that can restore her to life even after many years.
Well, that would be a miracle indeed.
It sounds a little hinky, but trust us. We're not bringing back anything. We're not going to bring her back unless it's her.
Well, I sincerely hope not. Because that would definitely be something that Lathander would look badly on. And while we can't see him through the clouds right now, he's still there, staring down at us, being a little judgeful maybe.
Uh-huh. Don't listen to him.
Very well.
So Shadow says you're family.
Yes. Me and my sister, we were once part of a single elven community along with Shadow's parents in the previous generations, but we split off centuries ago, and I and my sister led our people here. This was before Strahd took over, and before it became the travesty of evil that you see now.
So you were here before the land was so devastated.
Yes.
And do you know this tale of Strahd, how he became what he is now?
And then he says, perhaps when we are out of the rain, the book that I promised to Shadow, it is fate, I think, that led us all to make this connection once again. She said that she received a prophecy that she would find a book, and I have this book written by the monster's hand himself.
Oh my.
It contains some of the answers you seek.
Good. Well, then once we get to someplace dry, we can talk about it. Let's go.
Alright. So, now, Casimir Velikov joins the party.
Da-da-da!
Yep. Alright, so you make your way back to this crossroads, and I would guess, just guessing, that you are planning to take the southeast, or the southwest passage that says that it leads to Kresk.
Yes.
That is correct.
Alright, so let me reveal a bit more of the map. So, as you are making your way through the woods, first of all, we got a couple of GM rolls to make here. Alright, you do not encounter anything of note during your travels. As you make your way through these dark woods, you find that you're going downhill somewhat. It's kind of sloping downhill as you make your way in this direction. And once you get to here, you find that there is another path that branches off to the south of this road. That seems like it goes on up into the foothills of this mountain that you're at the base of. But it is not the main path of the road.
Is there a sign?
There is no sign for this intersection.
What about Casimir? Does he know which road, where each of these roads go?
He points the path to the south. That leads to the ruined fortress of Argenvostholt. The main road continues towards Kresk.
We'll keep going then.
What was his last name? Varsholt?
Argenvostholt. It's spelled Argynvostholt.
Oh. I take it he's not at home if it's ruined. Is that someone of the past?
He says, Argenvostholt was once home to an order of knights that served a silver dragon. They stood against Strahd and were destroyed. The fortress is now a ruin.
I close my eyes, stop for a moment, say a little prayer, move on.
Say a little prayer for me. All right, so
Did you say silver or gold?
silver.
Silver.
Interesting. You know anybody who has gold knights?
He says, if you are referring to the other clue for your prophecy, Shadow asked the same question. There are towers along Solenka Pass, which leads to the Amber Temple. I don't know specifically about a white tower with gold knights. However, those are the only towers I am familiar with in this area.
Well, I'm sure if Shadow learned anything more, she'll tell me about it later.
So as you continue along the road, you actually pass another couple of roads and another crossroads. You see a weather-worn signpost next to the road. The three arms of the sign point along the three branches of the road. Let me make sure I'm have you at the right spot. So you're making your way. Oops.
In the world today, with everything we've got.
Yeah. When you pass, so you reach a point where there is what looks like a footpath. It's definitely not a road that goes off to the north, and Casimir points out that way goes to the Lake Baratok. And then as you see a road that goes south again here, he says, that is where we would go if we were making our way to the Solenka Pass. And then you reach the foot of another bridge over another river, and at that crossroads, you see this weather-worn signpost next to the road. The three arms of the sign point along the three branches of the road. The arm pointing north across the river reads Kresk, and through the woods you can see the arching stone bridge spanning a river. The arm pointing east reads Valaki, and the road slopes up gradually in that direction. That is, of course, the way you've just come from. And the arm pointing southwest reads the Wizard of Wines.
Oh.
And the road slopes gently downward in that direction.
We'll need to be stopping there on the way back.
Is it far?
Casimir and Ismark both kind of start to answer at once, and then they give each other a look, like which of them is supposed to have the like.
Casimir lives closer.
Casimir says, "It is perhaps an hour in that direction."
Oh.
Once we have Arena in a safe place.
I suppose. Kresk will have a few spare reserve bottles here and there.
Alright, making another couple of GM rolls. Alright, you guys continue along the road across the river. And then you, let me reveal a bigger part of the map here. You reach the base of the town here. And that is where we'll move to another map here in just a moment. So, you have come up towards the village of Kresk. And as you reach this road junction, the road branches north and climbs a rocky escarpment, ending at a gatehouse built into a 20-foot high wall of stone reinforced with buttresses every 50 feet or so. Now let me actually go ahead and put you on that, let you see that map before I continue that description. And once again, in order to get where I'm trying to put you, I have to temporarily put you on a map that's not where you want to be. because the interface is goofy here. It really does not give me any way to just drag it to the one that I want, which is weird, but what are you gonna do? You do what I just did. So, if you now look, are you guys able to all see this now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys see that you are now along the road here. You've come up to this bridge here, and then below the bridge you see a model of what the gatehouse looks like.
Yep.
And so the wall encloses a settlement on the side of a snow-dusted mountain spur. Beyond the wall, you see the tops of snow-covered pines and thin, white wisps of smoke. The somber toll of a bell comes from a stone abbey that clings to the mountainside high above the settlement. The steady chime is inviting, a welcome change from the deathly silence and oppressive fog to which you have grown accustomed, much less the rain, which has been omnipresent, is actually starting to calm itself a little bit. The rain the storm seems like it's blowing over. And in fact, let me go ahead and I thought that I had that other track ready. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm scrolling through a list of... there's too many. There we go. All right. So as the storm has kind of blown by, it's the air has gotten kind of cold and the fog is blowing in. All right. So you guys, let me make sure I get my map for the stream set up. Okay. So, as I said, the steady chime of the bell in the distance. It's hard to tell at this distance, but there does seem to be a switchback road clinging to the cliffs that lead up from the walled settlement to the abbey itself, which is up on the cliffside.
Okay.
And so
There's Julius's crows.
And so you make your way up to up this little path that leads to the gatehouse itself. The air grows colder as you approach the walled settlement. 2 square towers with peaked roofs flank a stone archway into which is set a pair of 12-foot-tall, iron-bound wooden doors. Carved into the arch above the doors is a name, Kresk. The walls that extend from the gatehouse are 20 feet high. Atop the parapet, you see 4 figures wearing fur hats and clutching spears. They watch you nervously.
It's midday, isn't it? Somewhere
Yeah,
close to it.
it's like 1 p.m.
And then the walls are... Sorry, the doors are closed?
Yes.
Well, I'll use thaumaturgy. Ahoy there!
They so they're 20 feet up, so they could hear you, and so when you make your voice extra loud, they're kind of alarmed. They just say,
Sorry, wasn't sure if it would carry.
Who are you?
Oh, my name is Perry. You probably want a bit more than that.
They,
We are travelers seeking the abbey.
That's about right.
and they kind of talk amongst themselves. Says, "Stay right there. We'll fetch the Burgomaster." And one of the guards kind of disappears from behind the wall. The other 3 are still just watching you.
Squeeze out my cloak.
Yeah. Definitely, as you've climbed this little hill, you sort of, you're above the where the trees are, and the rest of the hill around this town is bare, probably because they don't want people climbing trees in order to get over the wall. But that has allowed the wind to kind of come through, and so it is a little chilly. It's not, oppressively cold right now, but it's
Yeah, well, especially being wet from the rain.
you're exposed now to the elements. So you're kind of just hanging out. The rain has stopped, so if you wanted, you could probably read the book now without damaging it, if you're interested in doing so.
So let's take a little bit of a peek at this. I did go through it the other night, and let's see if I've got.
I'll go ahead and share the item with all of you now, so that you can all read it. But I think we'll want to read it aloud. Have someone read it for the stream as well.
Yeah, it's basically Strahd's diary in code, but there's a couple passages that are easy to look at.
Yeah, most of it seems to be written in some kind of a shorthand, and a lot of the pages are too old and worn and are illegible. But there's a couple of pages. Oops, that I think I gave you just the item, not the like the item handout. There we go.
Here, yep.
All right.
All right.
It should.
I am the
think.
ancient.
Yeah.
I am the ancient. I am the land. This is the one, right?
Yeah. Do you all have it now? Handout from the Tome of Strahd. So I'm trying to click it, and it seems like it's not. Oh, you know what? Here, never mind. I'll just have to do it manually.
It's probably because you already gave it to me.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. You should all have it now, but please do read it.
I am the ancient, I am the land. My beginnings are lost in the darkness of the past. I was the warrior. I was good and just. Thundered across the land like the wrath of a just God. But the war years and the killing years wore down my soul as the wind wears stone to sand. All goodness slipped from my life. I found my youth and strength gone, and all I had left was death. My army settled in the valley of Barovia and took power over the people in the name of a just God, but with none of a God's grace or justice. I called for my family, long unseated from their ancient thrones, and brought them here to settle in the castle of Ravenloft. They came with a younger brother of mine, Sergei. He was handsome and youthful. I hated him for both. From the families of the valley, one spirit shone above all others, a rare beauty who was called perfection, joy, and treasure. Her name was Tatiana, and I longed for her to be mine. I loved her with all my heart. I loved her for her youth. I loved her for her joy. But she spurned me. Old One was my name to her, elder and brother also. Her heart went to Sergei. They were betrothed, and the date was set. With words she called me brother. But when I looked into her eyes, there reflected another name, death. It was the death of the age she saw in me. She loved her youth and enjoyed it, but I had squandered mine. The death she saw in me turned her from me, and so I came to hate death. My death. My hate is very strong. I would not be called death so soon. I made a pact with death, a pact of blood. One day on the on the day of the wedding, I killed Sergei, my brother. The pact was sealed with his blood. I found Tatiana weeping in the garden east of the chapel. She fled from me. She would not let me explain, and a great anger swelled within me. She had to understand the pact I made for her. I pursued her. Finally, in despair, she flung herself from the walls of Ravenloft, and I watched everything I ever wanted fall from my grasp forever. It was 1,000 feet through the mists. No trace of her was ever found. Not even I know her final fate. Arrows from the castle guards pierced me to my soul, but I did not die, nor did I live. I became undead forever. I have studied much since then. Vampire is my new name. I still lust for life and youth, and I curse the living that took them from me. Even the sun is against me. It is the sun and its light I fear the most, but little else can harm me now. Even a stake through my heart does not kill me, though it holds me for movement. But the sword, that cursed sword that Sergei brought, I must dispose of that awful tool. I fear and hate it as much as the sun. I have often hunted for Tatiana. I have even felt her within my grasp, but she escapes. She escapes. She taunts me. She taunts me. What will it take to bend her love to me? I now reside far below Ravenloft. I live among the dead and sleep beneath the very stones of this hollow castle of despair. I shall seal shut the walls of the stairs that none may disturb me. And that's it.
This guy needed a therapist.
As you were reading this, and especially the parts where you're talking about Tatiana, Irina gets kind of a faraway stare, like almost like she's hypnotized. And just once you finish, she kind of doesn't even really come out of it right away. But at Ismark kind of, nudging her a little bit, she blinks and says, I don't know how. I don't know how I could, but I feel like I remember that. But that's impossible.
Remember the words, you mean?
I remember it happening. But how could that be? How could that be? Ismark, you and I grew up together.
Do you remember it happening to you?
Yes. But that's impossible. That was hundreds of years ago.
Casimir, you mentioned something that's very interesting to me. A temple. The one you want to take your sister to.
The Amber Temple, yes.
The one that can restore life to someone long gone.
Yes, it is where Strahd made his pact. It is where he first came into contact with the dark powers that he formed his pact with.
I don't know for sure, my dear, Irina. But it may very well be that... Well, there's a couple of things that will come to mind. One, the dreams and the terrible hold that Strahd has on this land. Maybe, like Izek, it influenced you, changed you, filled you with memories that aren't your own, filled you with desires even potentially, or just messed you up in general. Or maybe something like this temple. Maybe the eternal life that he sought spilled out to others.
Can I do an Arcana check to see, like, if any of this sounds like, I don't know, some sort of reincarnation or something that I might know? Or would that be a religion check? I'm not sure.
Well, what I will say, rather than have you make a roll, what I will say is that, first of all, you remember the Vistani saying that something about these lands, like a lot of people are born without souls, and that even souls can't escape. And so it stands to reason that some people might, die and then be reborn, the same soul in a new person.
So, was Irina there?
She was, yeah, she was, but she doesn't seem to have made that connection.
So, do you remember when we were talking with the Vistani, and they were talking about how some people are born without souls, and souls can't escape? If souls can't escape, then they have to want to go somewhere, right? So I would imagine it's quite possible that they'd want to go into a newborn. You could have the soul of Tatiana.
As much as I'm frightened at the possibility, I can't help but feel that that's the truth. Is that why Strahd pursues me?
It sounds very plausible, although really this guy has to learn a thing or two about consent. I mean, he's been chasing the same soul for centuries, and clearly she doesn't want him.
It's about now, by the way, that you hear some activity at the top of the guard post, and the one guard reappears along with a distinguished-looking older man that he looks down at you and says, "Good afternoon to you. I am Burgomaster Dmitry Kreskov. What brings you here?"
So tempted to say the road on my feet, but honestly, it's for one of your buildings at least. A bit of sanctuary.
You look like...
We mean to visit the abbey.
These lands are too dangerous for me to allow adventurers within my walls. It is my duty to protect my village and the people inside. Adventurers bring nothing but trouble.
Ismark, can you kind of talk to him? I think you speak Burgomaster.
Ismark does kind of nod and just says, "Good afternoon to you, Burgomaster Kreskov. I am the son of the Burgomaster of this town of Barovia. I am hoping to find sanctuary for my sister within your walls, and specifically the abbey. Would you be able to grant us such a request?" And Kreskov says, "I'm sorry, it is impossible. I must put the needs of my village first. I'm sure you understand." Ismark kind of steps back and whispers to the rest of you that it's like, if he keeps to the traditions of Barovian nobility, if we were to do some service for the town, he would be honor-bound to let us in.
All right, then.
So Ismark kind of says, "We by no means intend to bring only trouble to your door, Burgomaster. Would it be possible that there is something some service we might do for your village, and to show that we bring goodness to you and not evil or danger?" And the Burgomaster kind of harumphs and says, "We are self-sufficient here in Kresk. We grow our own food, we make our own goods, and we do this so that none must brave the dangers outside these walls."
How's your wine supply?
That's what I was just thinking.
And then he kind of flinches at that and just says, "It is true that we are not able to make our own wine. We receive shipments of wine, and yes, we do take wine in, but wine has apparently become a scarcity in these parts."
You know, of all the tragedies I've heard in my short little life, that's the worst.
Just as it's a subtle thing, but you guys notice that when you kind of, in a sort of flip way, talk about that being the worst tragedy, You see him kind of flinch, like he seems like he's haunted by something right now. But what he says is, he just says, "Indeed, my people are very disheartened at the loss of the wine. If you would be able to bring us a new supply of wine, 3 barrels worth at least, then I would consider that a boon that would earn you a membership within our village."
Well then, I guess we know where we need to go next.
We have to go to a winery. This day's getting better and better every moment.
Best of luck to you then. These lands are dangerous. And
We take your words to heart, and I may be flip, but I do know that in times of trouble, any easement can help.
He kind of just nods, but you get the sense that he appreciated the sincerity there.
So to the winery then.
Yep, off we go.
I'll try not to skip.
All right. So you guys then are making your way back now along the road, and So I'm actually not going to move you all the way back to the map screen because of the aforementioned difficulty in terms of where I can, how many times I have to scroll and all that. So what you are doing, though, you're returning to the road. You're now going back to the east and making your way past the most recent bridge that was over the river you were told is the Raven River. And you reach the road that leads to the Wizard of Wines. And in the process, okay. So you're on the road for perhaps an hour and a half, and it is starting to be like 3 or 4 o'clock.
I've got nothing but my basic rations, but I'll take those. Maybe a wee dram or two to wash them down.
All right.
Are people hungry? I can good berry us up.
And then
Bears.
There you go. Hey, hand out, because that makes 10. How many of us are there?
So Casimir takes 1. So Casimir, Ismark, Arena, and then 5 of you, so that's 8.
Okay, so that leaves us with 2 to put in my pouch.
Anubis.
Yeah, and Anubis. So that gives me 1 in my pouch.
So does Anubis accept the Goodberry?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'd imagine he eats it and then kind of licks his chops like that's weird. Like, what is
It
that?
Yes.
They're lime flavored today, by the way.
Lime flavored, huh?
Yeah.
And
Okay.
that also heals a hit point, right?
It does, yeah.
Okay.
It does what?
It heals
Heals
1
one
hit
hit
point. If you were down any, it does heal 1 hit point. Okay. So, while you guys are making your way down the road through the forest here, we do have something happen. Hold on. So, you guys, all right. A couple of you notice as you're making your way through these woods that you come around a bend in the road, and just at the edge of the road in the forest, you startle a wild-looking figure caked in gray mud and clutching a crude stone axe. Whether it's a man or a woman, you can't tell.
Humanoid sized?
What's it doing to the
it looks like it's probably a human, but it's just covered in mud,
Clutching.
clutching a crude stone axe.
Ah, thank you.
And once
Hello, friend.
once you see it, yeah, okay, you approach and say hi.
Oh yeah.
It
First thing
grunts and runs into the woods.
Is it my breath? The berries are lime flavor today.
Can I do a perception check or something? Figure out if there's anything in those woods.
Yep.
Was he crouching over something?
No, it looked like he was just maybe making his way through the woods and not expecting to encounter anyone. He seemed surprised to see you and then ran away. With your perception roll of 20, Shadow, you get the sense that kind of close to the limits of what you'd be able to hear. You do hear what sounds like might be 2 or 3 humanoid type figures moving through the forest, but they are moving away from you.
Okay. And I can't tell anything more than they're humanoid and they're moving,
Right.
even with my keen hearing. Okay.
We don't have time for this.
Poor fellow. Maybe he could use a berry.
Yeah. Unfortunately, he's in the woods, and there's some 2 others in the woods. So it feels like a trap to me, but I'm not sure that he's in on it.
Well, we'll keep an eye out, I suppose. Maybe we'll run into him later, and we'll be able to say hello again.
All right. So as
Maybe I
we
should
walk,
use a different word. Hi. How's it going? You there?
do you want some
Ahoy,
food?
boy.
Incidentally, I am moving you back onto the map of Barovia just because I found out how to move stuff a little bit better. So you
So
guys...
as we're walking, I want to kind of constantly be checking and being aware.
Okay. Are you guys trying to move stealthily as well? You will be moving slower.
No.
I'm always moving slower.
No, we need
think
to
we're
get
alright.
this done before nightfall if we can.
And besides, right now, I'm not so paranoid.
Oh boy.
All right. So you continue then making your way along this road, and in fact, it kind of stops being quite so significant a road. It starts being a little bit more muddy and rutted, but there are definitely, it's definitely still a road, and you make your way south until...
Does it look like there's wagon tracks and things like that along this road?
Make a survival check.
Ooh, possibly.
I'll do one too.
Okay. Got a couple of good ones
Wow.
there. Yeah, you get the sense that while this road does look like it's sort of a long-used road that has had wagons travel over it, it looks like there's none that are very recent.
Did anybody say when they last received a shipment?
I don't recall if it actually... I think people have said it's like a couple of weeks overdue.
Yeah, I
And
think
this looks
it's
like
2
it's been
weeks.
longer than a couple of weeks since the road has been used.
Well, I would say it seems like that might be the reasonable connection, though, is that in terms of the timing, is that
Okay.
whenever the last shipment would have come through, it didn't.
Ah, right. Maybe they should fix the road.
I'm sure it's more than just the road.
It's always more, isn't it?
Yeah. So as you've been passing through the woods, after a half mile, the road becomes a muddy trail that meanders through the woods, descending gradually until the trees part, revealing a mist-shrouded meadow. The trail splits. One branch heads west into the valley, and the other leads south into the dark woods. All right. Make sure I'm looking. Yep.
And that looks like a vineyard.
And so...
Smell the wine of the vine.
A wooden signpost, in fact, at the intersection points west and reads Vineyard.
All right.
Good job.
So
go.
as you make your way towards the vineyard, a light drizzle begins to fall again. Unpainted fences blindly follow the trail, which skirts north of a sprawling vineyard before bending south toward a stately building. The fog takes on ghostly forms as it swirls between the neatly tended rows of grapevines. Here and there, you see rope-handled half-barrels used for hauling grapes. North of the trail is a large stand of trees. A man wearing a dark cloak and cowl stands at the edge of the trees, beckoning you.
We'll go over and talk to him.
He sees you coming, and he definitely nods and says, "I'm glad I caught your attention before you proceeded in. There is danger there. What is your business?"
We're investigating the
Everybody needs their
silence. We're investigating the silence of the winery. Why people aren't getting wine anymore?
Ah, yes, good. Please come with me. I and the rest of the family that own this winery are forced to hide in the woods at the moment.
All right, let's go.
But what's your name, friend?
I am Adrian Martikov.
And are you the Wizard of Wine yourself?
No, there's not actually a wizard. It's just a name.
Oh, that's disappointing. Still, good wine, though, for the most part.
Well, I'm glad you think so. Hopefully someday we can make it once again. So he leads you a little ways into the forest, and you see that once he takes you in there a little bit longer, you realize actually that around you there's actually several people who are kind of hiding in trees, wearing dark leather rain cloaks and cowls, and there's more of them than you would have expected, and they're kind of more around you than you thought, but they are not acting aggressively or anything. It's just they apparently were just really good at hiding.
What's this danger that befell you?
Please let me introduce you to Davian, my father.
Yes.
And so once he gets you to you've let's see, do I have a picture of him? I guess I do not have a picture of the this fam. No, there he is. Okay, let me share with you the handout for these guys. All right, so I've just shared with you a handout of Davian Martikov. And so he leads you, the guy that you talked to who introduced himself as Adrian, points out this kind of crusty but tough-looking customer named, and says, "This is my father, Davian. He is the patriarch of our family and the owner of the winery."
Hello, friend Davian. You can call me Percy.
Percy?
Did you mean to say Percy?
Did I?
You did.
Probably
Yes.
not. My name could be Percy, but it's not. It's Perry. I had a berry. It was terribly good. I washed it down with something that was left over of wine. Probably shouldn't have.
So he
Mixing good berry with wine.
so he basically nods to you and he says, I wish we could show you a better welcome, little one, and the rest of your friends as well, but as you can see, we're in a bit of a tight spot at the moment.
Well, that is precisely why we're here. You know, there are many taverns across this land. I've only visited a few of them, and every single one of them speaks of your wine with high praise and with sadness, as they've not had delivery in a while. This naturally touched my heart deep into my very soul, and the bottom of the bottle as well. And so we're here to see what we can do to help.
He kind of gets a sort of a wry smile on his face as you're saying all that, and he just says, "Sure use a lot of words."
You know, I was just saying the same thing not just an hour or two ago.
I'm glad you like the wine, but we've been unable to make our deliveries or make any new wine because a clan of evil druids and their strange little plant blights have attacked the winery and forced us out. We were forced to take refuge in the woods. There's too many of them for us.
Well then, sounds like it's just our kind of thing.
Anyone who stands in the way of wine can't be all good.
Well, they're not.
They're
not good.
Just groaning.
Yes, it's certainly true that for both Perry and Honor, given adventures that were had separate from this Curse of Strahd stream, this was a pre-party adventure for those two. Have a little bit of experience with evil druids and their evil plant creatures.
That's true.
Yeah. But Davian just says, it would indeed be. We'd be very grateful to you if you were able to help us out with the difficulties we're having here.
Well, your gratitude will be very welcome. Maybe a bottle or two on the side as well, but we'll talk about that part later. Unless you happen to have something right here.
No, I'm afraid we didn't bring any with us.
Oh, that's a shame.
So, basically, if you look just up there, and he kind of points just across the, the field. Like, so you guys on the map here, let me move you. You're currently in this stand of trees, which is north of the actual winery building. You're hiding in there, and so he takes you sort of to the edge of the trees and just says, "They're in hiding now because there's no activity. Fortunately, we were able to stop you before you got too close. But get any closer to the building and you'll definitely see them. There's dozens of them around. And I believe that the druids that control them are inside the building doing God knows what."
So, when did all this start? Did you anger them?
We did nothing to them, but they're mad. I don't know what it is that they sought, but they apparently needed our wine.
Well, I mean, we can open up a dialogue and let them know, but I think that they're standing in the way of your wine.
You're welcome to try. I suspect that they'll try to kill you as soon as you set foot in the building.
It's not the first time. I'm just wondering if we need to take a small break because two of our players taking a small break.
Yeah.
Well, that's all right. I think Jazric / Nobilis had made his feelings clear that he was on board for this particular little endeavor. So I think we can probably move forward. We don't have to wait to see that if Jazric is going to protest this plan. Oh, and they're back actually. Anyway, so
Jazric doesn't protest the plan.
Yeah. Okay.
So far, I'm okay with the plan as well.
So this Davian Martikov here has just made it clear that these evil druids took over the place. It was about a week ago.
Yep. I was listening.
Yeah. Okay. So then, can you help us?
We can certainly try.
Are those ravens actually here?
Well, it's part of the ambiance. Although you actually do see a fair amount of ravens in this area now that you mention it.
That's a good sign. Hey, Julius?
Julius says, "Yeah, I noticed that too." All right. So you guys. Sorry. Go ahead.
He said that they were in the buildings, in the winery buildings themselves.
Yes.
And these blights were wandering around outside, I'm assuming?
There's many of them outside. I don't know how many they might have inside, too.
All right.
All right. Well then, let's go.
All right. So
Yeah.
you guys are you start to approach the winery then. All right. So you're making your way towards it, and so situated in the midst of the vineyard, the winery is an old 2-story stone building with multiple entrances, thick ivy covering every wall, and iron fencing along its roofline. The trail ends at an open loading dock on the ground floor. A wooden stable of more recent construction is attached to the east side of the winery, next to the loading dock. West of the winery is a crumbling well and a wooden outhouse. And you don't hear or see anything at first, but as you're approaching the building itself, you hear the rustle of dead vines all around you. Inhuman shapes emerge from the vineyard, their limbs cracking as they trudge forth through the mist and rain. And you see that there are 30 of these things that are all over the place, and they're starting at about 120 feet away from you. But they're definitely moving in your direction. And we're going to roll for initiative.
Don't let them get too close, they're nasty little buggers.
Let me get you guys on the map. And hopefully I've got parts of it set up already. So, you guys, do you see this map? And I'm not doing the line of sight thing for this map because it's kind of too cramped. It makes it harder to use, I think.
Still on the Google map.
I'm
Yes.
still on the
Oh,
roadmap,
okay,
yeah.
sorry. I clicked over to it, but I didn't move you guys over to it. So, one moment. There we are. Okay, so somewhere towards the middle of the map, you guys should have you kind of all in a line, and
Yep,
you see that there's the open loading dock. You see the outside of the various buildings. There's kind of an area with some railings that's sort of open too. So you guys, the map does not show the wider field around the building where these things are approaching.
Of course it doesn't. And we're rolling initiative.
Yeah.
I got a 5.
Honor got a 9 and Anubis got a 4. Because we don't like twig lights.
Anubis just quite fine against bigger things.
All right, hold on.
Yeah.
It's acting really slow right now. So, got Honor and Anubis with 4, and
So what are the things again? I'm sorry, I was...
I'll describe them and give you a handout in just a second as soon as I can.
Oh, that's fine.
Get this, get your initiative in order.
Wandering around on their own, cracking their branches and dancing. It's terrible, terrible sight is what it is.
Yep.
Okay.
Honor and I have seen these things before, though. They're not as dangerous as they seem.
Okay, so it looks like you rolled initiative twice.
Yeah, the first time it wasn't didn't have my token selected, so it didn't.
Well, I actually
didn't
show both
load
of
it?
them on here now as like separate
Yeah,
terms. So
but
I'm
it
using
didn't-
the 5.
Okay. All right,
So
that's fine.
I'm
Okay.
trying to organize this, and it like sometimes it will put stuff on there the way it ought to, and sometimes not.
Okay.
So, okay, 6, and Ismark and Arena. All right, I need to move their tokens up where they're more handy. So, Casimir gets a roll. Arena gets a roll. Ismark gets a roll. Okay.
Wow.
Ismark was not paying attention. Oops. Ah,
There's a lot of
There-
single-digit initiatives for folks who are watching along at home.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's also just there's a lot of tokens on this map that makes everything super slow. Okay. Alright. Irina got a 3. Ismark got a 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that whole side is not kosher with fighting these things. It's just annoying.
Alright. So,
In response to all of the Perry puns, Paulette says, Perry punny.
See, I'm even holding myself back. It's horrible.
Okay.
Don't hold back. Just be you.
So Perry got a 19.
I will quote you on that.
Nani got 17. So I think that's everybody's initiative. Okay. And then I have to actually give these the needle blights their turn as well. See, I got a lot of this set up in advance to. No, that's not the wrong. That's. Okay. This part always takes forever. This is another complicated map, so some of this stuff really does kind of take a long time to do.
So while you're doing that, earlier, in the midst of things, Paulette had to run out. And when she came back, she said, I'm back. It's so cool to come into the house and hear you guys laughing on my TV set.
Okay, yeah, my Roll20 is moving very slow for me right now, so that's causing part of my issue right here.
It's running slow for me too. It might be that Roll20 itself is moving slow.
Yeah. Could be. So, is there a handout for these things? I don't see one. Okay, so what you guys see, the 30 of these things are humanoid shapes, but created out of what look like pine tree branches. So they have sort of needly sharp sticks all over them, and different needles and vines and sticks, but they're considerably bigger. They're like easily twice the size of the twig blights that you have fought in the past, Perry and Honor. They're bigger, and it definitely looks like they got like sharp little bits all over them. And like I said, there's 30 of them. They have you guys surrounded, and they're basically coming in your direction.
I arm myself with a hand axe and a torch.
All right. We are now in initiative. Let me go ahead and give us some initiative music. Where is that? I lost my, Oh, there we are. There we are. There it is. Okay. Alright. Got our good combat drums going now. Okay. Try to get the map looking at least semi-good for the stream here. And Perry, you are up first. So you are all standing by kind of the open loading dock of this building, with lots of these things coming in your direction.
All right. So are we going to be just using the tight map here, or is the rest of the space available?
The rest of the space is not available to move in. We'll just have to play that by theater of the mind.
All right. So the loading dock is here, and then down below the place is some other things. Well, all right. I'm going to stride purposely forward.
Okay.
Standing out a bit in front of folks here to see if I can get there. That should be good. And I cast Sanctuary on myself. Come at me, bros.
All right. So yes, you have done that, and all right. So that's your turn then. It is Casimir's turn, and he kind of turns to the rest of you and says, "Perhaps we should take shelter." And he kind of gestures to the open loading dock. But in the meantime, though, he does not immediately proceed inside himself. What does he do? I have too many... you guys are making me run too many characters right now. I've got to do Ismark and Arena and Casimir and Julius. And all the monsters.
Well.
All right, that's fine. I'm fine. I'm good. It's good.
Deep breath. Deep breath.
He casts... you see him take out a spell book, and he holds his hand out towards one of them. Ooh, and gets a critical hit on one of these things. Shoots out a little fiery bolt that reaches out the full 120 feet towards one of these needle blights, and does 9 fire damage, which I can resolve as soon as I got so many things. And so you see one of these things kind of become engulfed in flame, and as the flame fades, you see that it's blackened and smoking but still moving. And he says, "Yes, I think definitely inside."
Get inside, where they won't be able to swarm us there.
Yeah, he doesn't move in. He doesn't move in himself, but he looks like he's kind of keeping the path clear for others to go in ahead of him. All right, Shadow.
I am going to listen and move inside. Wait, that's not the right doohickey. There we go. So I'm going to move inside. Here, I guess.
So,
and
as you...
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
As you move into the loading dock, parked in the loading dock is a wagon with 3 barrels set in braces on the bed. A raised wooden walkway runs along the west, south, and east walls. Through a hole in the ceiling, you see the wooden arm of a loading crane with ropes and hooks dangling from it. The south door of this room has been forced open and hangs ajar, meaning it can't be that, like, the hinges are broken, so you can't just close it. But there is a west door as well at that same corner that is currently closed. And then make a perception check for me, Shadow.
Sure. Not a great one.
Yep. So
I'm a little hurried.
you see what I have already described. All right. So you've moved in there. Are you doing anything else?
I am going to withhold an action if and that action being that if any of the creatures try to follow me, I am going to use my scimitar to slice at them.
All right.
Or slice, rather.
Okay. These needle blights, it is their turn now, and they have a movement speed of 30 feet? Where? Oh, there it is. Where? Okay, hang on. What did I do here? Why? Okay. Oh, okay, that was weird. I minimized the window with them or something like that. Okay. Yes, they have a speed of 30 feet. So they travel 30 feet in your direction. So they are now 90 feet away and still coming. They hold up their little clawed fingers like they're getting ready to do something, but they're not doing it yet. Honor.
Oh, really?
Yeah. A lot of people
I'm-
rolled low this time. We had a
Yeah.
9, a 7, a 6, a 5, a 4, a 3, and a 2.
All right, I am going to follow Shadow's example and run up the stairs.
Okay. So you can make your own perception check now.
21.
You definitely, as you move in there, you hear a creak of wood from the walkway that is above this area, meaning the center of this room is open to the next story up, where there's balconies.
Uh-huh.
And you hear a creak of wood from up there, like something just moved a little bit up there.
Okay.
Are you taking any action?
Telling people is usually good.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to think. Yeah, I'm gonna say, can anybody see what's up above us? Is there anything up there?
All right. So next is Anubis.
Anubis is following me.
Okay. Julius is going to also come inside.
Okay. Can he see whatever's on the top floor, or do they not have a good view?
It is the second floor up with a railed balcony. You
Okay.
can't see it from the floor you're on.
There's plenty of spots up there we can't see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because basically, if you look... Why am I... I'm trying to select... There we go. Why am I not... Oh, there we go. I'm trying to do too many things. Okay. Julius is moving inside. Okay, hang on. It's frustrating that it's moving so slow right now.
From
Okay.
Paulette,
Yeah?
admitting confusion in the midst of such moments is the mark of a great DM. Go, Christiana, go!
Well, if I didn't admit it, it would basically just be, you would question my decision making, I think, if I didn't admit that that's why what was happening was happening. But anyway, so Julius moves inside as well. Jazric.
Jazric moves to the area in front of the wagon, and shouts, "Form a line so they can't swarm us."
Let me clarify.
Just
Yeah.
either side of him.
Okay, and so let me just clarify too in terms of making it clear what the line of sights are. So the 4 squares that are above, so I'm right there where the wagon is, where those 4 squares that the wagon occupies the most of. Above that is the only part that is open to the other 4.
Okay.
Everything else is, and like there's a crane that looks like it's, used for hoisting barrels, but the rest of it is a normal ceiling. All right. For some reason I had Anubis move before Jazric, but it would normally be Anubis's turn, but that's all fine. Irina and Ismark are both hustling their way inside as well. And Ismark takes up position next to you, Jazric. And Irina heads inside. If I can scoot my map over enough, because I've got too many things open. Alright, there we are. So she comes up next to Julius here. Alright. And you, Honor, notice some subtle squeaking, like whatever you heard up there is trying to move quietly. And it seems to be heading towards the southwest corner of the room, but, above you guys. Alright. And I'll go ahead and say, like, the rest of you, having been alerted, probably might also hear it too. Those of you who are already inside, hear it.
Guard that door!
Yeah. So, Perry, you're up. You're still outside with Casimir.
What are you waiting for? Go inside. I got this.
You're staying?
Well, sort of.
Okay.
I am going to move a little bit.
All right.
I want to, well, approximately there sounds good. I'm walking a little bit closer to them.
Okay. So you're moving
How
to
far
a
away are
part
they
of the
at
map
this
where they're still 90 feet away until their turn again.
All right. Well, I'm just going to watch to see if they come too much closer.
All right.
Get in there, I tell to Casimir, though.
Okay. All right. So that's your turn
Is
then.
that door open?
The door that he's standing by is closed. Nobody has tried it.
Well, I'm telling him.
Okay. Yeah. So
Hopefully he'll try that.
what he does is he tries to open it and then shoves against it, making an athletics check. And what does he get? He gets. See, I'm covering up my chat window. He gets a 9, which isn't great. But the door seems solidly barricaded.
Oh, and for my action, I'm going to go full defensive.
Okay. All right. And then Casimir makes his way into the dock area too, and he says the front door is barricaded. All right, Shadow.
Julius, your friend's an idiot. All right.
He says, "I know."
I don't know what to do.
Sometimes.
Well, there's obviously somebody up there. And there's things outside.
You might be able to get there by climbing up on the wagon and up on the crane.
Yep.
But I expect they're going
It
to come
does.
down.
I would make you do a check if you wanted to try to actually get up onto the railing, but I would say
Yeah.
if you stand on the wagon, you would be able to see, get line of sight if there was someone up on the other floor.
All right. I'll scout it out. I'll check it out.
Okay.
So I pop up on the wagon. I'm not too dexterous, so you know.
Well, I'm not going to make you roll just to climb up on top of it. And
Good,
what
good.
I'll say is I'm going to reveal the area that's above, but it's, it's obviously on the next layer of the map. So let me reveal that. So what you see as you stand on the wagon and look in there is that you do see a druid standing in the corner of the room. In fact, let me. There's a description of her, so let me. Where is? Okay. So above there, the description of the room that you can kind of see through the hole now is the room has a wooden floor with a 10-foot square hole cut in the middle of it. Looming over the hole is a wooden winch. This one is actually a man. So perched atop it is a man with wild hair, rotted teeth, and skin painted red with blood. He waves a gnarled staff made from a black branch and babbles at you. You are a druid. Shadow, so you actually realize he is speaking Druidic, and what he is saying in what is gibberish for everyone else. Nature bows to my every whim, for I have the vampire's staff.
Oh, that's good.
And the description said he was perched on the winch, but he is actually moved to the southwest corner of the room.
Okay.
So I'll say you haven't used your action yet, just movement.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm just investigating a couple of things. Yeah. So, could I, because it's a 15-foot cube, is he within 15 feet of me?
I'll
Looks like
say
it to me.
yes, but be wary if you're thinking like Thunderwave. You've got not only your allies, but you're standing on some wine barrels, which are maybe
That's true.
not.
All right, I don't want to destroy the
don't
wine.
knock the
I need
wine.
that. All right.
Perhaps valuable enough that you don't want to risk shattering them.
Yeah, and I can't quite reach him.
So we'll say that you are like 5 feet. You're standing 5 feet off the ground on top of the wagon. So he is 5 feet above you, and like about 10 feet away in that other direction.
Okay, so do I have enough time to switch from my scimitar to my short bow?
Yeah, I'll say you do if you want to. You try to fire a quick arrow there.
I'm gonna fire a quick arrow, and as I do it, I scream, "Get his staff! We need his staff!"
All right. So your roll was a 17, and that's a hit. So roll for damage.
I think all I have to do is that. Oh, that's nice.
Well, no, you just rolled another attack. You need to roll for damage.
Dang it! I thought I was able to just do the damage from there. All right.
No.
So
on the
Click
chat
on the word
window,
short bow.
on the chat window, you can just But don't click the one under the crit though, because that'll
You actually click the short bow on the chat window.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, I learned that last time.
Yeah. So
Cool.
I'm not ribbing you for not knowing it, but we have had that exact conversation 5 times already in this campaign.
Well, now we've each had it once.
Yeah.
Well, it's not working, so I probably because I rolled another, so I'll just have to.
Oh well,
manually do
okay.
it.
I mean, I can click it and it rolls. So see, I just did that by
Then
clicking the short
you're
word short bow.
fancier
All right.
All right.
Okay.
Well, I don't know why that didn't. Oh, I have to click on the short bow.
That's
There
what.
we go.
Yes.
It's the
Okay.
same thing. It's the same
You got
thing.
the same
I just,
damage, so there you go.
I'm
it
just
works.
figuring out the
Yeah. All
way
right.
all this works.
So you did 8 damage, and so you do hit this guy, and he takes this arrow, he catches it sort of in the shoulder, and kind of.
I was hoping it was a knee.
No, unfortunately, the angle of attack, you don't really think you could do that, and so he is wounded in a way that he seems very unhappy with.
Did it break his concentration? Is he still chanting?
Well, he wasn't chanting like a spell.
Okay.
He was speaking Druidic. That's what you heard
Okay.
him say.
Okay.
So everyone else thought he was just yelling gibberish.
Yep.
All right, that is your turn then. The needle blights are moving another 30 feet, and once they close within a 60-foot range, Perry, they're gonna. You have 30 things that are gonna try to attack you. Now, fair, they're gonna have to make their wisdom saving throw.
And a disadvantage.
And attack at disadvantage.
Mm-hmm.
But, okay, I'm trying to think if there's a quicker way to do this. All right.
Well,
so
first of all, if they're doing in melee, all 30 can't attack him in melee.
No,
they're
being
not.
ranged.
They're doing a ranged attack.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I
So,
didn't think of that.
what I'm going to do is roll. So, first of all, they're making a wisdom saving throw against your DC, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I'm rolling I'm going to do
Well,
10
you can do
d20 for 3 times. And however many pass it, then we'll do that many attacks at disadvantage. All right. So, it looks like of those 10, 3 of them beat your DC and are able to attack.
Mm-hmm.
Of the next batch, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. So that's 8 total.
Bye bye, Perry.
And then in the third batch, only 2. So that's 10 total that are now going to attack at disadvantage. Okay. What is your DC or your AC?
13.
Okay. Miss. So hit. 9 piercing damage.
Okay. Yeah, okay. I'm taking that.
Okay. That's another miss. That's another miss. Okay. That's a hit. So that's another 10 piercing damage.
Okay.
Okay. Miss. Miss. Hit. Not the crit though, so it's just the 9 piercing damage.
Okay.
All right.
I hope you've got a plan.
1, 2, 3, 4,
had a plan, but
5,
then it went
6,
ranged.
7, 8. 2 more. That's another hit. Another 6
Uh-oh.
piercing damage.
I go down.
And then a miss. Okay. So all of you guys, as Perry is standing out there, brave as he can be, finds that a lot of these things struggle, confused why they can't attack, and then a lot of them are shooting these little needle fingers at range, and a lot of them miss, and you know, you hear almost like hail them hitting the wall of the winery behind him, but enough of them strike.
Did any of those crit by example?
Well, they're rolling at disadvantage, so none of them were a crit.
So how many of them succeeded?
It was 10 that managed to attack.
Okay.
And then the hits was 1 hit, 2
There's
hits.
4 hits.
Yeah, 4.
On the 3 that rolled really high, my last little trick, luck.
Okay.
They'll be forced to re-roll those.
You're using all 3?
I'll use all 3 luck.
Okay. So, this is just 1 new roll, right?
They're still
Meaning-
rolling at disadvantage because I'm still...
Do they
I'm still-
roll again at disadvantage, or do we roll 1 more d20?
I believe it
'Cause
forces them to re-roll, but I will double check.
I think what happens is you use the luck to re-roll any 1 d20.
Yeah. So you point to the one that hit and said re-roll that, so you get
Yeah.
one more roll.
So, you know what though? I'll no, okay, no, I think it's the rule. So it's going to be straight roll. So those 3
Yep, I
re-roll.
get a little bit of chance.
So of the hits, 1 was
Starting
6
with the biggest.
piercing, 1 was 8 or 9, I think I said, and 9 and
1 was 10.
10. Yeah. So the 2 9s and the 10 are the ones that are re-rolling. So
Okay.
you definitely took the 6.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to re-roll those 3, and we take the first result, not at disadvantage.
Yeah.
6,
One miss.
9,
2 miss.
and 6. Okay.
Oh!
So you guys,
Life!
okay, here's how this actually looks to you guys. Like, time seems to slow down in a way that you are sure, like the swarm of needles that these things fired, you are sure that a bunch of them are going to hit him, but then at the last second he just assumes this praying motion, and 3 of them just happen to zip by right under his arms, just like if he hadn't been in that exact position. Those 3 would have hit him. So you only took the 6 piercing damage then.
Sorry.
And you have used all of your luck for the day.
Sure.
Yes, your luck has run out.
I use all of my things all of the time.
Yes, okay. So, Casimir kind of... So, are you done showing off yet? Get in here! You little fool! Alright, Honor, it is your turn.
Okay. I am going to step on the back of the cart
Okay.
right here and try to hit the druid with my heavy crossbow.
Okay, go for it. 11 is actually
11.
just enough.
Just enough. Oh,
yeah.
awesome.
So go ahead and roll the damage. 12.
12
damage.
piercing.
Okay, yeah. So this your crossbow bolt, you get this druid right in the gut, and he kind of goes pale, but he's not dead, but he's looking fairly wounded now. And he's definitely not, his gleeful, arrogant shouting in gibberish. He seems less pleased with himself right now.
I hope so.
Yeah. All right. It is Anubis's turn.
Anubis can't do anything.
Okay, so he's just hanging out.
He's just hanging out.
All right. It is Julius's turn. He is going to go and peek through this broken door. Oh, hang on just a second, because Tim just literally texted me. He just texted me to say, "Is Julius still alive?" So let me temporarily pause Julius's turn just in case he is actually able to join or something. So Jazric.
It's like, Perry, you fool, get in here! That can't work twice. I am going to. It's like, we can't stay here. There's not enough cover. And I'm going to run in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Run in to try to get more space between, and try to get up to whatever they're shooting at.
Right. Okay. So, what you find as soon as you pass through that door that's kind of broken open on its hinges, is that there is a doorway to, like, on your right that leads into a room on this level, but also ahead of you is a set of spiral stairs that look like, I think those are the ones that go down.
They go down. There's no stairs there that go up. It looks like there's 2 sets of stairs.
Well, I'm a little confused. Hang on, let me double check, because the map is a little bit weird here.
Okay.
Let me make sure. Okay, so what it is this is a spiraling, it's actually not stairs, it is a spiraling ramp.
Right,
This
okay.
turret has a sloping wooden floor that spirals from the cellar to the upper levels. Scratch marks suggest that barrels are rolled up and down the ramp on a routine basis. So it does go up, but it's not stairs, it's a ramp.
Okay. I would like to go up the ramp. I'll dash up the ramp.
Okay. So let me move you to where that takes you. Go ahead and make an athletics check to make sure you're making it up this ramp, okay? I'll say you still make it up, but you are going to exhaust your movement just getting to the top of it.
Okay.
So let me move you up there. So you have used your action, but you are now at the top of this ramp, right here, and you see the back of this this druid that's up there.
Okay, that's all I expected to be able to do anyways.
Yeah. And he's got his back against another door that looks like it leads into the floor above the other room that you passed that doorway of.
Okay.
All right. Tim says he still can't join, so he's just checking in. So I was actually going to have him do what you just did. So that's all right. He is going to peek in through this other door, and I'm not going to uncover it because you guys don't actually see it. But he's going to say, "Hey, I think the wine vats are through there."
Okay.
And then he passes. He goes to follow you, Jazric, and then he stops at another one and says, "Yeah, this door's the same room." But that looks like where the big vats are. All right. Anubis is... I have 2 Anubises on here. That's why I keep getting confused. Okay. All right. It is Irina's turn, and she is just saying, "Should we try to find another room to barricade ourselves in? There's no cover here." And then if no one... seeing that the one door is broken, she is actually going to duck inside the room that Julius just said had the vats in it, and Ismark is going to follow her on his turn. So you guys see them duck in through this door right here. All right. Okay. And now it is this this druid's turn, and he, furious, is looking down at you, Shadow, and you, Honor. But he is going to... he whispers some arcane words and then casts Spark Skin on himself. So his skin
I know what's coming next.
turns rough and bark-like, and then he actually ducks through the doorway at his back.
Watch out for an animal.
I'm not worried. You wounded him. He's in trouble.
But if he transforms into an animal, he starts at new hit points.
No. He's still in trouble.
Okay, so he ducks through that doorway. Perry, you are up again, and you are better be thanking the Morning Lord for your dose of luck, because boy.
Well, and, it gave them the time they needed. So they've got the time. Now it's time to make time, and I'm going to sprint. Let's see. So 5 gets me there. Excuse me, coming through. There's a doorway open. All right, coming in there, right there. That's where I stop.
Okay.
They're still coming.
My Roll20 is moving so slow right now. It's kind of infuriating. Where did you run to? I don't see where you stopped.
I think
somebody just passed in a door, or you indicated a door. Maybe I moved the door by mistake, but...
Oh, did you move
I don't
on
see
top
it.
of where... Yeah, there you are. Okay, so let me reveal that room now then. Because you basically pushed in past where Irina went.
It's a halfling thing.
Yep. Alright, so let me reveal that room. Okay. And in that room, the rich smell of fermenting wine fills this large 2-story chamber, which is dominated by 4 enormous wooden casks, each one 8 feet wide and 12 feet tall. A wooden staircase in the center of the room climbs to a 10-foot high wooden balcony that clings to the south wall, which has 4 windows set into it at balcony level. Stacked against the wall underneath the balcony are old, empty barrels with the Wizard of Wines burned into their sides. The balcony climbs another 5 feet as it continues along the west and east walls, ending at doors leading to the winery's upper level. Underneath these side balconies are several doors, some of which hang open. Beneath the sloping roof stretch thick rafters upon which scores of ravens have quietly gathered. They watch you with great interest. So
That's a good sign.
I've revealed the ground floor of that, but let me actually go ahead and reveal the upper level of that room too, which you can. It's just described, so you would see it also. You would not see the druid on the east end of this room though, because they're basically directly over your head. You are under the stairs that go up to there. So then there's a little bit more in this room though. Also, you note that the balcony creaks, drawing your eyes to a wild-looking figure hunched over the westernmost cask, pouring a flask of thick syrup into it. She wears a gown made of animal skins and a headdress with goat horns, and her hair is long and unkempt. Suddenly, you see something skittering across the floor. It looks like a tiny creature made of twigs. It moves from its hiding place under the stairs and disappears behind the easternmost cask.
No, not the wine.
All right, so that is what you have seen as you dashed to get into that room. It is Casimir's turn now, and he is going to. He is retreating with the rest of you, but he is also, as he departs, as he moves inside, he's going to cast another spell out at the needle blights. And what does he cast? You get the impression he gives kind of the elven body language equivalent of, okay, let's bring out the big guns. And he casts Fireball.
Ooh! Oh, not the wine.
Well, he's casting them at the needle blights outside that are approaching outside.
Okay.
Not the vines.
Yes.
Okay.
Don't ruin the vineyard.
And I'm gonna say that there are 10 of them within the radius of his Fireball spell.
I still think I could have taken them.
No.
Let me actually see what they. It occurs to me that the roll that I did earlier, the wisdom roll for the needle blights, should have actually had a -1 to it. But anyway, retroactively made perfect. Okay. All right. So basically, each of these d20s gets an additional +1 to try to beat 14. So it looks like 1, 2, 3. 3 of them succeed in this save. The rest fail. But that 25 fire damage. Basically, all of them within his the radius of that fireball are just incinerated.
Okay.
So he is just incinerated.
Kind of the 30 of them.
Well, 10 of So he just kind of says, "I can't do that all day." So he moves in and he looks like he is willing to kind of be, the pulling up the rear, while the rest of you make your way in. Okay, Nutty.
I want to follow after where Jaseric went.
Okay, so if you want to go down and around and try to go up the ramp, you're going to have to dash to even barely get up to the next floor. But if you want to make an athletics roll, you can try to jump up onto the balcony from where you are.
Yeah, not with my dex.
Athletics is strength.
Oh, I thought athletics was dex.
Nope.
Acrobatics
Strength.
is dex.
Yeah.
Aha. Well, oh no, I'm sorry. My dex is good. It's my strength that sucks.
I will let you
not
make
with
an
my
acrobatics if you want.
Okay then. Sure, let's try it out.
Okay.
Hey!
Yeah.
Hey!
Yeah. You neatly hop up onto the balcony on the next level up.
So I get up to the balcony and I look surprised. That's what happens when you're led by the evening glory.
Yeah, and I'll say that you still see this druid, this bark-skinned druid, through the doorway. He didn't close the door behind him when he moved through it.
All right, and I'm going to. Can I fire another shot at him?
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm gonna do that.
Unfortunately, an 8
that
is going to
did
miss.
not work.
and your arrow sails over his shoulder.
I'm still a little wobbly. I mean, I did just do something I didn't think I could do.
Yep. All right. The needle blights outside are moving closer. So they are only 30 feet from the outside of the building now. A couple of them have line of sight on Casimir and Honor and Anubis. So I'm going to say that 3 each are attacking you.
Okay.
Okay, so these are the 3 attacking These are the 3 attacking Casimir first. Okay, and then what is his AC? I'm literally having to switch between 7 different windows right now. His AC is 12. So all 3 of those hit. Yeah. So let's see, it's 19, 29. Okay, yeah, he takes all 3 of those hits and does not look happy. Okay. Yeah, so he looks significantly injured by that. Alright, now the 3 that are attacking you, Honor.
Okay.
Okay, so what's your AC? Well,
12.
it doesn't. Yeah, so 19 and the crit are definitely going to hit. So that is 7 plus 8 plus 10, 18, 25 piercing damage.
Yeah, I'm not happy either.
Yeah. I've
got 7 left.
Yeah. Okay, so and now the 3 attacking Anubis. Oh man, those are all good rolls. I think 2 of those hit.
His armor class is 15.
Okay, so then they all hit. I thought it was 16. Am I wrong? Okay.
No, that's the other game that is 16.
Okay, fair. Right. So, okay, yeah, all 3 of those hit then. So he takes 29 piercing damage.
He's down.
All right. Anubis is unconscious. All right. Honor, what are you doing?
I'm going to, what I want to do is, hit Cure Wounds on myself and jump up and follow Shadow.
Okay. You're not gonna help Anubis? Okay.
Well, that's right. I need to help my wolf.
He is unconscious and gonna die unless you help him.
Yeah. So I'll cast Cure Wounds on Anubis.
Okay.
All
right.
Which puts him back to 10.
Yes, Anubis recovers 10 health points.
Okay. And
I would advise you not be where these things can attack you again, because there are only going to be more of them that can get a line of sight on you if you wait.
Yeah. So I'm going to use my movement to try and jump up and follow Shadow.
Okay. Make an athletics check or acrobatics, whichever you prefer. Oh no!
Nope.
I would say you try to leap, but it slips out of your fingers, and you find yourself crashing back down onto the wagon, and one of the barrels breaks open under your back.
Oh, not the wine!
Yeah, and it spills wine everywhere. You're kind of soaked in it now. But I'll say you landed here in the back of the wagon.
Okay.
At least there won't be as much. It won't be as good a line of sight from them.
Yeah,
All right, it is Anubis's turn. He is, up and moving again. So, where are you having him go?
Run!
Yeah, he's gonna run and get in here.
Okay.
Get into the vat room with Perry and Arena and Ismark.
Not a bad move. Okay, so Julius's turn. He is going to storm into the room and try to. Let's see. He is actually coming into the room where the stairs are. So he is actually at the base of the stairs where this one druid is. So he's going to rush up those stairs and attack that druid with his short sword. Longsword, rather.
Okay. It looks like he ran a long way.
Okay. you kind of went the long way.
Oh,
He
okay.
he entered the room with the vats at the base of the stairs that lead up to that balcony. So he moved 5 feet and then another 5 feet upstairs. Is all he did.
Oh, okay. Okay, I guess I can't see the stairs. All right.
Yeah,
All right,
the
that's
stairs
fine.
are only on the only shown on the map on the upper level.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a weird map.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, so he hits with that 16 even through the druid's bark skin, and 11 damage is enough that he basically spears this mud covered animal skin wearing guy, and guy slumps to the side of the balcony. So that guy's dead, and the black. Gnarled black staff, which almost looks like it's actively still smoking, tumbles out of his grip.
Yes. Don't touch it.
All right, and so that is Julius's turn. Jastrick.
Okay. I am going to go past Julian towards the other druid. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can get to where those crows are.
Okay.
And I'm going to throw my hand axe at him.
Okay.
Now this has an attack bonus of +5. Actually, it's the same either way. Dexterity or but it should be +4. So if I only just barely hit him, it's not going to count because it should be +4.
I mean, if you hit, the damage should be the same. But what's your throwing range? My bet it's 30 feet. So you can throw it at, but it'll be disadvantage because he's just out of range.
Just out of range. All right, then I won't throw it.
Okay. So are you going to take any other action? Because you could probably you could still dash or do something else if you want.
Yeah, I'll dash.
Okay.
20, 30. There we go.
Alright. I'll actually give you one more square because I usually think of the diagonals as still 5 feet.
Oh, okay. There we go.
Okay. So that's your turn. Irina's turn. She's going to move deeper into this room, investigating the weird twig sounds that were coming from the one vat. So she kind of comes around this way and then backs away from that real quick and just says, "There's a lot of them in there." And
not
actually,
again.
she is going to stab at one of them with her rapier. And that is a hit. So she stabs one of them. You hear some twigs clatter. But now that she has done that, you guys are hearing a lot of scratching sounds coming from inside that one vat, the westernmost one.
Oh, goody.
Ismark,
Easternmost one.
easternmost, yes. Ismark is coming around on that side too, and he is going to try to stab another one.
And there's a big crack in the side of it?
Yes, that is
think
what
that
they're
needs a-
attacking through.
I think that needs a mending spell.
Don't
Alright,
break the
yeah.
wine.
Yeah, so he. Oh, I just found a way that's going to help me navigate these windows a lot better. I like that. Good deal. Okay.
Level up.
Yeah.
GM gained a new level.
Yes.
Now we're all in trouble.
Well, no, I mean, all it should do is make it easier for me to manage all these different little windows that I'm dealing with. So he kills another one and just says, yes, there are a lot in there. We need to seal them in or something. So now it is the druid's turn. This is the druid. The one was killed already, but the one that had just finished pouring poison or something into the the vat is now muttering some familiar sounding spells, and he casts Barkskin on himself. Or this one is a she. I keep mixing up which one is which. This one is a she. She casts Barkskin on herself. And then kind of has her own staff that she's kind of wielding like she's ready for you.
Is she saying anything?
This one, no. But she's kind of facing down Jazric, who is up on the balcony with her.
Okay.
Okay. I believe that puts it on you again, Perry.
Oh, okay. I can see the one that's up on the top balcony, yes?
Yes.
Good. May the light of Lathander smite you down, sacred flame.
All right. And so she makes a dexterity check, which she gets a critical failure on. In fact, okay, so what I'm going to say is she tries to leap out of the way, but not only does she... I don't know why I accidentally clicked it twice. So she takes 6 fire damage, but
Radiant.
also...
It's radiant damage.
Radiant damage, yes. Thank you. So she takes that damage, and actually, in her attempt to dodge, she loses her balance and falls backward.
Oh!
Into the vat of wine that she had
Oh
just
no, not the wine!
It was already spoiled.
I can fix that.
Yeah. In fact, actually, let me. So there was kind of there's a wooden sort of lid with an opening that she'd been pouring it through, but she just crashes through that and lands in the wine.
Oh. Not the wine.
Well, tell her not to crit fail her dexterity saving throws.
Oh.
Okay, it is Casimir's turn. And he is not only going to hasten his retreat from these needle blights after taking as much damage as he did last time. So he hurries in here. And actually, you see him turn invisible.
Or don't see him, that's the case.
Or don't.
Well, you see him hurry in through the doorway and then vanish.
Nice.
Yeah,
Must
so...
learn that.
all right, so Nutty.
All right. So these are a bunch of crows up on that second level there.
They haven't
Ravens.
messed with any of us.
Yeah, they're in the rafters.
Okay.
They're just
and they
looking
haven't
down
done
at
anything.
You. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah.
That black gnarled staff is at your feet.
It's at my feet.
Yeah.
Okay.
See if you can pick it up and cancel that spell with the twig lights.
I thought it would have been in front of Perry from where Julius killed it.
No, because they're on the upper level.
Okay.
So you see this staff looks like a spongy black length of wood. It looks like it's just somehow constantly smoking, like it's smoldering.
Okay.
But you've been watching, and it's like it doesn't seem to be burning, but smoke just constantly comes from it. It looks really evil, just as a gut check thought. It looks pretty evil. I mean, you are familiar with some druid magics and know that some are more on the good side than the bad side, and this one seems pretty obvious.
This one looks pretty evil. Is there anything in my arcana or any of my knowledge that I know that I can either safely pick it up or wrap it up, maybe in a bag or something,
Make an arcana
without
check.
it affecting me? Okay. That wasn't very good.
I need to actually look and see what it is because I'm on wrong window. There we
So
go.
from the
For
chat,
9, you're-
many a good vat of wine fell that day.
Yeah.
Tales of Perry.
Yeah. So, you looking at it are not sure. You know that sometimes magical items require attunement before they can really do their magical thing.
Right.
And you're not sure if this is one of those or not. So you can't really know for sure if it's safe to touch it or not.
Or just break it. If it's not one of the things we need, just break it.
Is it one of the things we need?
No,
No? Okay.
at least not from my interpretation of those things.
Okay. Then, well, it's always smoking, so I'm not sure fire is going to hurt it. I don't want to touch it, though.
Break it with your scimitar?
Yeah, I could try chopping it up with the scimitar.
Yeah.
All right, let's check that out. Would that just be a regular roll?
Yeah, just give me a second.
Yeah.
Oh, there's let's see. Okay, yeah, just make an attack roll. And then just make an there we go. Yeah, make an attack roll. I'm clicking around on too many things. All right. Yeah. So and now roll damage. Okay. You swing down with your scimitar, and you chop this thing in half. And as soon as you do, it lets out a shrieking like scream. It sounds like a woman screaming, and it's ear splitting, and it's just.
Gosh, I hope there wasn't a person in there.
And then and so that's what you hear, and as it splits apart and this scream dies out, you see that constantly smoking quality stop, and the druid that had was sort of floundering. Well, okay, she's floundering in the wine. You don't know what she's reacting to. Okay, yeah. So it made a shriek, and then it stopped smoking.
Did the twig blights in the vat stop moving?
Well, that's what we're going to resolve in just a second here. Honor, you knew that these things were get close enough that they would be entering the loading dock at this point, right?
Right.
And even though you've kind of got half cover from where you landed on the barrel and in the cart, you expect them to be flooding into the loading dock.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't. It's your turn.
It's my turn.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so first things first, get out of the cart, struggle my way out of the cart, back onto solid ground.
As soon as you look, you see that they are, in fact, surrounded that outside, but they are now all limp and unmoving outside on the ground.
Okay.
Yay!
Okay, so I'm on this back wall, so I have a little bit more cover from them.
Well, okay, they're all dead.
They're all dead.
All of the blights outside are dead.
Awesome. What can I tell about the wine that I fell in?
It's ruined.
No, I meant, does it smell off? Does it,
it smells like wine. I mean, if you want to make a perception check to try to see if you smell anything else funny about it, you can.
Yeah. Because the last thing we would have wanted to do is take three barrels of wine out there, and all of a sudden, oh, they're poisoned.
Just give me a day.
Funny.
You can smell it real well because you're drenched in it. It smells pretty much just like the red dragon crush that
Okay.
you taste that Perry had been drinking out of his flask.
Now it's
Okay.
Red Dragon crushed.
Yeah.
So, Perk, now your outfit matches perfectly. The nice maroon color.
All right. So yeah, you still have an action if you want.
At this at this point, the blights are dead. I'm just gonna kind of try and move my way in here. I figure I'm pretty sticky and really irritated.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So we got a lot of tokens, kind of all in there. It's crowded in that corner of the room. All right. So it is Anubis's turn. He is probably like sniffing you suspiciously.
Yeah,
Are you?
he's
gonna
trying to
have
help
him do
out and
anything
lick
else?
me clean.
Yeah. Are you having him do
That's what
anything
I'm
else?
doing.
No,
Okay.
he's not doing anything else.
All right. It is Julius's turn. He sort of gives an impressed nod to you, Shadow, because obviously by chopping that staff in half, you've done everybody a big favor. He wanders over on the balcony. Close. He moves to go in close to you, Jazric, but he stops actually here, looks down into this easternmost vat, and confirms all these are dead. They stopped moving.
Good.
All right, so it is Jazric, your turn. You are sort of standing over where this this one has fallen into the vat and is splashing around in there.
I go over. I put away my hand axe and pull out my spear. And I was like, "Get out of there! I don't want to get any blood in the wine."
Thank you.
Well, they've already tainted it.
Yeah.
I can fix it.
So the Irina and Ismark are poking around the apparently dead twig blights in the one vat. And you see the one the druid that's in the vat is kind of floating there, and she kind of just says, "You're too late."
Yeah.
It starts just floating. But then you also hear suddenly a scream of anger, and bursting from this other door is another druid, already with bark skin on. So this is coming from the far side here.
I've used my move, but I have not used my attack.
Okay.
Can I react to that, or you?
So no, I don't think so. I mean, she.
Okay.
Kind
All right.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
She. I just realized I think I've been misinterpreting these stairs a little bit, but whatever. I'm, DM fiat. That's how they. This is how they work. So, but yeah. So she appears and she. What does she do? She casts. Yeah, she casts Shillelagh on her staff and charges at you to attack with her staff, which is now kind of glowing with green energy.
Okay.
Jazric. And gets a 9, so it looks like she misses.
Nope. Yeah, my armor class is 16.
Swings wide. All right, Perry, you're up.
Leave that wine alone. Did I see the new druid come in?
Yeah, you heard her scream with rage, so I'd say yes.
Okay. I'm gonna walk as quickly as I can over to the edge of the stairs and say, "Leave that wine alone, I tell you." It's still good. It's still. Oh, there's one floating in it. I hate floaties. The one that's in a sacred flame. A little distracted.
Okay. Let me mark the one that's dead by poison here. Okay. So she's gonna make a dexterity saving throw. Come on. Gets an 11, so she takes that 1 radiant damage.
Distracted by the poor little defenseless wine.
One is enough. One is enough.
Is it hot in here? Like just a tiny little, flickering flame on her eyebrows. She just goes, blows it out. All right, Shadow.
All right. So, let me just zoom in here. I am going to do. Let's see. Nope, that's not the select tool. Sorry about that. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 brings me next to Julius. There's nobody else within my range. I am going to withhold my action, but I am aware. So if anybody comes up these stairs or comes in around me, I am ready.
Okay. Honor.
Okay. I am... Hold on, let me get back to that part of the screen. I'm going to move a little bit closer so that I have line of sight and attack with my heavy crossbow.
Okay. Make your roll.
And I got a 6.
Yeah,
So that
misses, unfortunately.
Yep.
All right. You guys see all of a sudden a firebolt come out of this just space near you. And it strikes that druid, and she takes 8 fire damage. So she is more singed by that one. But not down yet. Okay. Anubis. So there are the stairs in the middle here as well.
Yeah. I think he's gonna run up past Perry and start trying to get up to the top of the stairs.
Okay. Yeah, I'll say without dashing, he can get just to the top of the stairs.
Yeah, so...
You can switch them to the other map.
Yeah, that's... Just gotta make the window bigger.
I'll do it. I'll move it.
Okay.
Yeah. Alright, yeah, so he can get up there, but that's with a dash. So, Julius's turn. He is going to 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Yeah, so he's charging in that direction, but can't quite get there. Does he not have some sort of a ranged thing? He has more stuff that I've not been using. Actually, what he's going to do is cast Sleep. Let's see. Oh, so it has an effect of 24, which is enough. And so that druid, suddenly just her eyelids droop and she collapses to the floor asleep. All right. And he smiles and turns to the rest of you. That finally worked. I guess it worked on one of the guards last time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So we're on the verge of not having any more initiative here, but as it happens, one more druid bursts out into the into this lower level. Already got bark skin on, and she is charging at Irina with a shillelagh staff. Where did my druid go? A little window. There we go. Come on, druid. Gets a 19, and so Irina takes 4 bludgeoning damage.
I think it's 3, right? Isn't it +1 if she uses the advantage?
No, it's
No.
It's because it's got shillelagh on it, so it does an extra a bonus. 1d8 plus. That's weird. Yeah, I'm actually a little unclear what
The first one, 1d8 +2, right? If you hover over the number, it tells you how it formulates it.
Yeah, but it shouldn't. I mean, that's not a damage roll. Like, it's not. It shouldn't report the critical damage unless it was the first result. So.
Well, it always rolls.
The way shillelagh works, though, is with an attack with shillelagh should be 1d8 +2. Yeah. Okay. So.
That's the first number. 3.
Yeah. I don't know why it has that +1. Okay, you're right. So 3. So she takes a crack to the head, and she looks mildly stunned for a moment. But at the same time, she's not as hardy as some of the rest of you. Okay. Perry, we'll say you're up again. We've got this one last druid here.
Back away from her, you wine ruiner! You've done terrible things to this wine. Burn with bright light of lathander.
All right. She fails that roll, and so she takes 7 radiant damage. Excuse me.
And that's the one on the side of the vat there?
No, yeah, this
Okay.
one right here.
I will also move to be right in her face.
Okay. All right. Okay. Once again, another firebolt kind of shoots out of thin air. That's another hit. So this firebolt sails into her. She takes another 6 fire damage. Nutty, or Shadow rather. See, I keep saying I keep saying Nutty. I'm better at the others because you have Nutty showing up like on your little player name. Nutty : Shadow.
Isn't everybody? Oh, it's on my. It's on
you
my,
have it typed in that way, so yeah. It's fine. It's fine. I just go ahead.
Character sheet. Yeah, because in the chat it's Shadow with Nutty in parentheses. Yeah. I can fix that later.
It's
yeah. So let's see. So I'm up here, and there's nobody up here with me, except for that druid who's asleep.
Right. Yeah. No enemies.
No enemies. Although, let's see. 1, 2, 5, 6. I can't quite get over to her either.
You can see the one on the ground floor over the railing.
Yeah, I can. So let me try firing at that one with my crossbow.
All right.
Or a short bow. I keep saying crossbow. I mean my short bow.
All right. Yeah, that 22 will hit.
That's nice. 5 piercing. All right.
All right. Yeah. So she is. You guys, what with multiple people all attacking her at once now? She's taking damage fast. Honor, good. You're up.
Okay. Heavy crossbow over Perry's head.
Yeah. All right.
Don't fail.
19.
That'll hit.
Wow.
4 piercing.
All right. So she is substantially wounded now, but not quite off her feet yet. Anubis.
Anubis is up the stairs.
Yeah.
So he would have to run back down in order to get this.
I'd say he could just make it. Kind of squeeze around the side of the vat if you want to do that.
Um, um,
In fact, unless you have some reason you don't want to do that, I'll just say he tears her throat out and we're done.
okay.
All right.
Okay, let's do that then.
Okay, yeah, so Anubis rushes back down the stairs, squeezes around the vat, and this heavily wounded druid cannot withstand yet one more attack, and so she drops dead, bleeding out. All right, and with that, we're no longer in an initiative.
Quick, help me fish the old hag out of the barrel. We can still save the wine.
So I'm
No,
gonna
really?
go over to Jaseric and Julius. We should tie this sleeping one up.
No, we shouldn't. I'm executing it.
Okay, you just
Okay then. You don't want any information.
all right. Yeah, that happens unless someone's literally going to try to stop him, physically stop him. He's about to stab this unconscious woman.
No, because what are you going to offer?
Well, unless someone grabbed his arm, he's doing it.
Yeah. I'm doing it, and I'm not giving any reasons unless somebody wants to talk about it. Because
I'm not gonna fight Jaseric.
All right. Yeah. So
My
I'd
party
say
and these guys are evil.
yeah,
she is no longer unconscious. She is now also dead.
Well, that handles that. Ugh.
Can somebody give me a hand? I'm on the top of the barrel, my arms trying to reach in and grab this druid that's floating around inside.
Oh boy.
As an apology, I'll go up and for breaking the wine, I will help.
Yeah,
Harry
you guys
fished
all
the-
notice that Honor is just soaked with and reeking of wine.
Good vintage.
Can I like do an investigation check of the area we're in? Is there anything else that I should be aware of?
No.
Anything?
So let's
Plate?
there's a number of rooms in this building that you have not explored yet.
Right.
But in the room that you're currently in, there are, as I previously mentioned, there's 4 fermentation vats. One of them had been filled with 20 twig blights.
Yep.
But those are all now dead, and it looks like it's just piled with sticks. And that had a big crack split in the back of it. And so the other 3 big vats seem to be filled with wine. And it was the westernmost one that you saw the druid pouring something into and then
I
dying
wouldn't
as a
trust the
result.
other ones. Yeah.
I can fix them. Don't worry.
Yeah.
I can fix it.
The druid that fell into the wine, as you pull her out, you see that she's got, her gown is made from animal skins. She's got this horned headdress, and she's also wearing a necklace made from human teeth.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
As if there was any question.
I once had a spirit made from, they used a dead skunk to ferment things. This is fine.
Oh boy.
I have a plan.
All right, so did you guys want to check out any more of the building, or what's your plan at this point?
We definitely want to make sure the building is clear so that we can go
But
back to the...
I also want to heal anyone that needs healing because some people took damage, like
Yeah.
Perry or okay?
Casimir reappears. He is significantly injured, and then
Yeah.
both Honor and Anubis are looking a little rough.
Yeah.
All right.
I've got 1 cure wounds spell that I can put on someone, and I've got a good berry that'll give 1 point. So I give that to Arena, so she's up at least 1.
Okay.
I want to keep with us.
Who looks the worst?
I think me and Anubis. I'm in single digits, and
Yeah.
Anubis only has 10.
Casimir has 11.
Yeah.
Okay.
They could all use it, to be honest.
Yeah.
Right. So I am going
So-
to do honor, I think.
Okay.
There you go.
So you didn't actually
Yeah.
cast it. Yeah, that's.
Didn't cast it.
Yeah.
I don't know how. Hang on.
It's probably in your attacks and spellcasting thing on your main sheet.
Let's see. If I put that there.
I usually
yeah,
if
I
you
haven't
have
put
it
it there.
prepared, it'll.
I didn't put it there because I didn't know that I was supposed to.
Well, usually it shows up automatically.
Then I've done something wrong.
Okay.
I don't know.
All right.
But I can manually do it because
Okay. Well,
yeah.
so do so then. I'm sorry.
Yep,
I don't mean to be snippy about it. I'm just.
Yep. All right. So it's 1d8. There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
All right.
So that's 6 HP.
Yep.
All right, so Honor and Anubis both still look terrible, and but Casimir, Casimov,
Casimir has 11.
Casimir,
Yeah.
he's not looking so good either.
Yeah.
Oh, decisions. Why do y'all have to get too beaten up?
Well, I still have cure wounds as well, so I can get Anubis if you want to get Casimir.
Well, let me start with Casimir.
I'm going to go ahead and reveal the whole map and tell you that, like, as a preliminary search, what rooms there are. But if you want to know more about any of these particular rooms, you'll have to investigate it specifically. If that makes
that's
sense.
Sorry, I didn't mean to do that.
Oh, and there are horses. If the horses are alive, that's a really good thing.
Yeah. So, the various areas that you discover doing your preliminary search just to make sure that the building is clear. There is the stables that has 2 draft horses in it. There's a barrel maker workshop and a barrel storage room. There's kind of a veranda that has smaller tubs that look like they're maybe where you stomp the grapes. There's the well, the outhouse. There's another a wine storage room. That is actually the wine storage, I think is the cellar. Where is that? I'm looking for my... no, there is a cellar. I'm looking for W8 on my... Okay, yeah, there's just not a wine storage room, but just a regular little storeroom. Or like tools and stuff. There's a glass blowing workshop where they make bottles. And then there's a wine cellar in the basement and various bedrooms. You notice that the wine cellar feels like unexpectedly cold. I mean, you wouldn't expect it to be warm, but it seems colder than you would have guessed.
I don't think we have a right to poke around any more than we have to. I say we load another barrel onto the wagon, make sure that they're all untainted, and then
If we could wait until morning, I can guarantee they're not tainted.
okay, let's go talk to the people whose place this actually belongs to, and tell them we've cleared out the druids.
Okay. So you
I'm just going to cast my last cure wounds on Honor.
All right.
And click.
Yeah, and I think we definitely need to see about staying here tonight if we can.
Yes.
Yeah, you do notice as you make your way out the room that it is like, it is getting to be like 5:30. So you probably wouldn't have time to make it back to Kresk before dark. Certainly
Especially
not if you're
now.
staying a little bit longer.
Yeah.
I'm with a wagon on that terrible road.
All right. Well, while we're walking towards the forest where the family's been holed up, I'm going to take Perry aside and tell him I was hoping to be able to get to the monastery before nightfall, but it looks like that's not going to happen. One of the hags visited me last night, and that's why I didn't sleep terribly well. And in fact, I'm significantly weaker today.
Sorry,
I won't be able to. It's going to be bad if they visit me again tonight. We need to figure out some way to stop it.
When you say they visited you, do you mean they actually came to you, or was it
In
a
my
dream?
dreams, in my nightmares.
Oh,
You've heard of somebody being hag-ridden. That's me.
Go ahead and make another religion check, parry.
Religion?
You recognize that your spell protection from evil and good might be able to, it wouldn't necessarily cure what has happened already, but it might prevent further future visits.
I look very solemnly up to Jazrik's face. I know a way we might be able to help. If I had known this morning, I could have prepared for it. As it is, I'm not in the right space for it. But I can help you tomorrow and for every day after that.
All right. Hopefully the people at the Abbey can help more permanently.
So, as you find the Mardikovs in the woods and tell them that you've cleared it, they look relieved and grateful, but they're not like overjoyed. And so they start making their way in, and Davian kind of directs his two sons, Adrian and Elvir, to start clearing away these now dead lights that are everywhere.
The wine that's here, the stuff that was made, I do fear that the druids may have done something to it. But in the morning, with the light of the thunder climbing the sky, I'll be able to clear them out for you. You won't lose your livelihood.
Well, that's good news. That's great to hear. I feared that they might be doing something like that, but I'm afraid there's a bit more to the livelihood than just the wine we have made. Don't mistake my gratitude. I am very grateful that you've allowed us to return to our home, and if we can recover what wine we have, that would be wonderful. But you've seen, I'm sure, how evil and poisoned these lands are all around us.
Aye, a bit.
We had 3 magic seeds, if you will. I call them seeds because that's somewhat what they resembled, but they're definitely magic artifacts, and they helped to purify our vineyards and allow the grapes to grow good and healthy. And alas, we have gradually, one by one, lost all 3 of them. Each allowed us to make a separate vintage, and for the longest time, our best one was named Cirque du l'Estompe. But that was lost,
Oh, that's
stolen,
a tragedy.
and then each, let's see, I believe that then we lost the one for Red Dragon Crush, and now we have lost even the last. 2 of them, one was stolen many years ago. That's why we have not been able to produce our finest vintage in a long time, and has led to some family difficulties because it was my brother Erwin that was on watch when that happened. But we believe that it was stolen by a witch who stays in the ruined town of Berez. Another, I believe, has been stolen by more of these druids that make their abodes at Yester Hill, which is to the south. I don't know what happened to the 3rd. But without those gems, this year's harvest will likely be our last.
Are they gems or seeds?
They are gems in the shape of seeds.
Okay.
It's tragic.
Where did the second one go?
One was stolen by this witch.
Yeah, got that one.
The other stolen by more of these druids that I'm sure have taken it south to Yester Hill, where they have their community. I thought that once they had stolen that we would have seen the last of them, but then yet they have come from That's the attack where they took over the winery. They were not finished with us, apparently.
Were they to steal the third, or was was it?
No, that had already been stolen. This most recent attack where they drove us out was only a week ago.
Ah.
What happened around the third one going missing?
Well, it just was gone. The two, I had some evidence to tell me where it might have been taken, but the third just disappeared. It was there one day and gone the next, and I have no clue.
Who was guarding it?
Well, that one, no one was on watch that particular night. We bury them in the fields, you see, to purify the soil.
This is terrible. You're just about the only winery around. And if you go out of business,
Indeed.
terrible things are going to happen.
Yes. But please, I do not mean to burden you. I am very grateful that you have helped us to recover our home and what wine we do have. If you are able to help us to purify anything that might have been tainted, I would definitely be very appreciative. You're welcome to stay here as long as you like. And in fact, you have more than earned the right to take some of what we have made already. You would be able to sell it at good price at any of the towns in this area.
We'd like to make a delivery to Kursk, at least. And well, maybe a little bit more. A little bottle here and there to, keep the road from bothering my feet, our feet, too much.
We'll definitely be keeping our eye open. And if we hear any news about these gem seeds, we'll be on top of that. We're trying to help this land. And it seems that the wine is definitely a key part of the troubles that have been going on.
A key part of the solution to the troubles that have been going on. The wine is the solution, not of trouble. No trouble at all.
Well, lack of wine is the trouble.
Yes.
Well, it is certainly good to hear that there are adventurers such as yourselves looking to help this land, and in fact, you've proven yourselves such that I believe I can share a very important secret with you.
Ooh.
Let us talk of the Order of the Feather. And we're going to leave it there for tonight. All right. So, yeah. Nice. Incidentally, having rescued the Wizard of Wine's winery and restoring the winery to the Mardukov family, clearing out the druid infestation, you guys are all now level 5.
Yay!
Yay!
I got lots to do. Jeez.
Yeah.
Let me write that down. Although
I now have Revivify.
And I have Sharpshooter back. Yay!
Sharpshooter is a feat that you took,
Yeah.
so you don't get it back unless you're
Well, no,
taking another feat.
I'm taking the feat. I didn't have it before.
Okay,
for this character.
But okay, at level 4, you either take a feat or you take the ability score increase, and you took the ability score increase. The feat is you can take it again if you take the feat the next time you have an ability score increase. But it's not just like any time you level up.
Okay.
It's the specific thing you get at level 5. What you get at level 5, I'll tell you what you get. Lots of you get good stuff, but at level 5, what you get is, as the revised ranger,
So many good spells.
coordinated attack. So what you can do now at level 5 is, when you attack something on your turn, if Anubis is where he can see you, you can have him use his reaction to make a melee attack, which is basically not his attack. It is an extra attack on top of him getting his own turn. So basically, you can have both you and him both attack on your turn. And then he also still gets his own turn. But yeah. So, and so I'll work with each of you to kind of sort out what we get for you for level 5. But what I will also confirm, though, is that it is definitely too late to try to make it back to Kresk before nightfall, and especially if you're going to stay to hear about the Order of the Feather. So when next we meet, you guys you're going to have to think about whether or not you're safe here and how you can make that happen overnight.
Okay.
All right. So though, you've completed one of the little story areas. You've figured out what happened to the Wizard of Wine's winery, and
So
it's not 100% saved, but it's a lot better off than it was.
Yay!
I think confronting Isaac the way it ended up happening was kind of cool.
That was I was not prepared for you guys to have an actual conversation. I was figuring he was going to just come after you and fight to the death, and then.
That's great.
I think you should pretty much default expect us to talk just based on Perry's modus operandi.
Well, but see, at the same time, he wasn't gonna listen, but then Perry paralyzed him.
So Paulette says huzzah and great work, everyone. Yay. Thanks for letting me watch.
Well, thank you for watching.
Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. Because this is a very fun campaign. I think there's just lots of cool stuff in here, and I was just I watched Nobilis kind of smirk when the Burgomaster in Kresk said, "But if you were to do a service for the town," just because. But at the same time, I always knew
quest givers everywhere.
See, but the thing is,
all good.
The safer a place is likely to be, the more difficult it's going to be for you guys to just go there. And so it was funny too, just because you guys kept talking about oh yeah, we'll hurry out to Kresk and then just come right back. And I'm just thinking,
yeah, but if you don't make plans, right? Then,
well, no, obviously you have to have a plan of some sort, or else, what can go wrong?
Everything.
Yeah.
It's good that we went to Kresk first, though, because we know exactly how much wine they want us to bring.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And again, with I will give you just this tantalizing hint, like the next time on, sort of thing, is that you guys haven't actually met Strahd yet. Maybe it's time. All right, so I think that does it for this time. Thank you, everybody, for you guys playing, and anyone watching, whether in live or later. And we'll be back. Yay!
Yay!